Welcome everybody to episode 122 of the China Show, also known as ADV Podcasts back in the day. Boy, do we have a video for you today.
Yeah, it's an important one.
Very important, actually, one might say. But not only that, we've got a new mini segment we'll be showing you later, which I think everybody's going to enjoy, and will give you some seriously good insight into China.
Especially today's main segment.
Yeah,
for sure.
Especially the main segment. So what do you say we saunter right into it?
Saunter.
Let's do it. We're going to go into What's New, where we talk about what's new in China. And what is new in China at the moment is this.
Here we are with this.
With a rapporteur.
For those of you that are listening and not reading, the UN more or less came out to say that there is forced labor in Xinjiang. For you guys that don't know, Xinjiang is a western region of China. It's home to the Muslim minority of the Uyghurs. China's throwing millions of them into concentration camps, forced labor, getting rid of their language, forced sterilization, all that stuff you've heard about. And China always hits back and says, no, that's not true.
Sure.
We love the Uyghurs. We take good care
Or
of
they
them.
just say that it's like anti-extremist stuff that they're doing.
Behavior. Like all we're doing is stopping extremism.
It's weeding out
terrorism.
extremism. Yeah. It's our war on terror, etc., etc. But
you guys did it before, so this is our version of it, right?
The thing is, they really do not just go after like extreme people. They go after people that they catch like speaking their own language or listening to a podcast about their own religion or that wear certain
children.
clothes. Yeah.
We have discovered the Xinjiang police file leaks, which was a leak from one police station database where over 2,000 mugshots and crimes were documented. Mm-hmm. And I would say the vast majority of them weren't even related to terrorism.
Yeah.
Things like you said, having a beard.
Yes. Or you prayed with your uncle, so now...
Yeah, and you're a kid. You're in the room and your uncle was praying, so now you go to a concentration
that kind of
camp.
nonsense.
Anyway, there was allegations of forced labor. Mm-hmm. And the UN, let's be honest, the UN has favored China for a long time just because China has such a large voice within the UN.
Yeah, it has crept itself within the organization. It's now embedded itself like a tick.
Yeah.
Okay, and you cannot remove it without destroying the host.
Correct.
Okay,
yeah.
Pretty much.
However...
And anyway, they're saying things.
The UN's top expert on slavery conducted a new report, and I'm going to quote him. Mm-hmm. He says, it's reasonable to conclude that forced labor amongst Uyghur, Kazakh, and other ethnic minorities in sectors such as agriculture, manufacturing, took place in the western region of China, where they've been accused of human rights abuses against the Uyghur Muslim minority as a genocide by the U.S. In stinging remarks, the U.S. Special Rapporteur on Contemporary Forms of Slavery, Tomoya Obokata, is obviously a Japanese, added that some aspects of China's Xinjiang policy could even amount to the enslavement as a crime against humanity. Now, if you guys remember, there was a human rights tour that was...
Yeah, the UN Human Rights. Bachelet went there.
Yeah, Bachelet, but this is not related to that. This is a separate investigation.
Right.
So we're still waiting for the results of her grand tour in Xinjiang, but this is the UN doing the right thing. Finally.
Okay, good. What else do we have in What's New? Curious.
As you should be.
Yeah. What else is new? I'm in the dark right now.
You need to play.
I did. It's your long slide to take forever.
I don't want you to miss them. That's the problem.
Okay.
Okay. This is a very long slide, isn't it?
What did you do? Is the whole...
This is actually the whole presentation.
Okay. What do we got here?
So, I want to set this up.
Okay. I'll get us in the corner.
First of all, you guys know what Aliexpress is, right?
It's kind of like a cheap Amazon, right?
Yeah.
You go and you order parts and things and they get shipped from China directly to wherever you are.
That's right. So you can order in bulk. You can order, if you want to find a supplier, it's basically like eBay or Amazon for Chinese cheap goods.
Yeah. Can I just say that it would not work and it would not even be a viable option if China didn't have developing status in the World Trade Organization and tons of subsidies when it comes to trade and shipping and postal and stuff. Both basically the rest of the world pays for China's shipping.
Yeah.
That's why you can get, and the Chinese government helps too, but that's why right. you can get like a small little part. Like you could buy something for $1 or less on AliExpress and it will arrive for free.
Yeah.
Get shipped for free.
Yeah.
How is it possible that a $1 thing can come across the sea thousands and thousands of miles all the way to your door for less than it costs me to send a letter to my neighbor?
It's really good for the environment as well, isn't it? If you think about it.
Yeah, but that's the whole point, is that they undercut everybody because they have this developing status in the World Trade Organization. Oh, we're a poor developing country. And now normally that's good. If you've got like Ethiopia or something and they're trying to export goods to the rest of the world and they're making something there, of course, the shipping cost is prohibitive for a developing country. They cannot afford to be able to pay this expensive shipping.
No.
Right? And so it works in a country like that, but not a country that has a space program and that has a huge military and has all this number 2 economy in the world. Why do they get to ship things around for free, subsidized by everyone else, and be a developing country? It's ridiculous. Anyway.
It makes no sense by their own definition.
Yeah.
So.
Anyway, rant over. Just so you know why you can get something that's 2 cents for free shipped from China.
Yeah, well, it's not 2 cents. Is
what?
I want you to hunt around, because you haven't looked at the media pack I put together.
No.
I want you to hunt around in this picture and tell me if you see anything weird. Okay.
Okay, it says cool home gadgets, super deals, new user zone, women's fashion, men's fashion, phones and telecommunications.
Point you up. Go up.
I'll go up. It says human hair wigs.
That's the default search.
Oh, it's the default search right
on
now.
AliExpress.
Right.
What?
Yeah.
So, okay. This actually leads me to something super dark.
Okay.
And it's something I'm working on. I might bring it out like later after I figured it out.
Okay.
But there's a bunch of companies in China that are supplying human hair wigs specifically for Jewish and Muslim people.
And Africans.
No. Listen.
Oh.
This is separate to
Okay,
that.
separate to that.
It's set up as a religious organization.
Oh, okay.
And they're apparently tested to be either kosher
Or halal.
And there's a reason for this.
Because it comes from Uyghurs who are Muslim.
Right.
Yeah.
So, we're working on something.
Sure.
Working on something about this to prove that, right? You can't just say that, right?
Sure.
So, anyway, it's not related to that. I just thought that was very interesting that was the
default search.
No matter where you are. I switched VPNs a few times.
Okay.
Anyway, I want you guys to look at that now that you're familiar with AliExpress.
Yes.
This is a Russian military equipment convention.
Yeah.
Okay? And you can play the video.
Yeah, there's one of those.
What do you see about that?
Well, it's one of those Boston Dynamic robot dog knockoffs that China knocks off all the time.
Right. This is Russian military equipment that Russia's developed, they said.
Yeah, it's got like an
RPG
RPG on the back of one of those little robot dogs. You've seen them before.
Yeah, so the Russian military put this out saying, like, you guys are effed. We have robot dogs.
Take a look what they've done here. They've put basically cloth, see, all around it and tied it on so you can't see the actual workings of it. But it's just one of those toy dogs you can buy.
Yeah, they literally, this is Russia using stolen Chinese toys to say that they're going to bring RPGs into wartime environments. And so you should be scared, West.
Right.
This is Russia.
Yeah.
That's how sloppy Russia. This is like China level chabuduo stuff.
Yeah, obviously.
So obviously someone, typical in both Russia and China suffer from these level of miscommunication where they don't think they're going to get caught.
Yeah.
So if you look up, you can see the first and the second result is actually this toy dog.
Yeah.
It's exactly the same.
It's a big difference in price between the one and the other.
Yeah, but the first one and the third one I'm talking about.
Yeah, the first and third one, yeah.
You notice that's exactly the one that you just saw.
Yeah.
If you notice the price is $530, it's free shipping. It's from AliExpress, right?
Yeah, free shipping.
Okay, right. That's if you look this up on Google.
Yes.
The reason I showed you AliExpress before that was because if you look it up and see, remember I had human hair wigs?
Yeah.
If you look it up, I want to show you what the actual search result is now. Stop. Do you see what it says below that?
Oh, sorry, your search robot dogs did not match any products. Please try again.
And if you click one of those robot dogs on the Google shopping thing that used to go to those things for robot dogs, it's still there in the cache. All you have to do is search robot dogs and shopping, and then it's there, right? Type in robot dogs AliExpress, it comes up.
Right.
But if you click one of those things, it just goes to like a messy splash page of deals on underwear and toys.
Okay, so they've removed it basically.
They've removed it at behest of the Russian government.
Must have been, yeah.
Russia got too embarrassed and China's like, okay, we'll remove your toy dog.
Yeah, makes sense.
Not good, guys.
Okay, what's this little meme?
So update, this caused me to look into something I have been criticizing for years. Well, both of us.
Yeah.
And this came up on some sort of subreddit. I believe someone sent it to me. says most useless things of all time. You got a coffee cup with a handle inside, just for all our listeners. What is the second one there?
So it's a gate with no wall around it, so you can just walk around it. Yeah.
Right.
A watering can that waters itself.
Right.
And then
And
is that the
then
Macau?
That is
Hong
the
Kong
Macau
Bridge?
Zhuhai Hong Kong Bridge.
Yeah.
And the reason it's useless is actually there was a huge campaign in 2018 that even got big media outlets to promote this amazing bridge. And let me tell you why this bridge is so important.
It's super long and super big.
Long. It's a big infrastructure project, and it was used as a way to show how forward-thinking China was. In fact, go ahead and play the video in the background. This is an example of what was going around on mass media in 2018.
Okay.
I just want to give you guys an update. So back then, in 2018, this was being promoted on South China Morning Post, which is not a mainland Chinese source.
Yeah, but it is owned by
Yeah, of course.
mainland China now.
But you had, big outlets, think CNN type stuff.
Yeah.
That were covering this big project, and it was this big bridge. And what it would do was it would go from mainland and circumvent having to wait through border lines.
Yeah.
Because you wouldn't have to go through Hong Kong and Macau, which are two sovereign territories, separate territories from mainland China, which would previously take you about 3 hours to get between all three areas, right?
Yeah.
And you'd have to go through three separate customs.
Yes.
There's a border with Hong Kong, which is previously British territory. There's a border with Macau that was previously Portuguese territory.
Yeah.
They now have their own legal systems and stuff, so you still have to go through a border. You still have to have a passport. You still have to have permits, right?
Yeah.
So this would link all of those things and reduce the travel time to 30 minutes.
Yes.
Right? Great in theory, and then I remember, go back.
Okay.
Great in theory. This was very important for propagandists, because what this was, you can put it there.
Yeah.
Was a way that China could say, we put in hundreds of billions of dollars or something.
Yeah.
Hundreds of billions of dollars into this bridge project, and what it's going to do is link all these economies together to where there's not these massive lines and truck customs, all this kind of stuff, because people can just rip through.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Two things happened.
Okay.
Number one, there was this weird interim period from when we left China in 2018, 2019, to where we could still go back to Hong Kong, which we did, and we wouldn't be arrested, even though we were wanted by mainland China, but we had to avoid this bridge.
Yeah, people got arrested on the bridge because one of the little islands that you pass over, that obviously the bridge has to pass over this island, that's mainland territory. So they stopped the bus there on that little island and they arrested dissidents. And they arrested somebody who was wanted in mainland China. I remember that being in the news.
So you can be on the bridge only in Hong Kong. So we were basically dissidents in Hong Kong, right?
Yeah.
Fairly safe.
Yeah.
We would go look past the border in China and be like, remember that country? And that country that's after us?
Yeah.
But there was a weird period for a couple years where before the whole national security law, we could actually get away with that.
Yeah.
Now that went away, but we definitely had to avoid this bridge because, like you said.
Yeah.
But the most important thing about this bridge is that it was poised to be this amazing project, and no one uses it. It was a massive waste of hundreds of billions of dollars. And I'll tell you why. There's a fantasy that it was going to reduce traffic, and everyone in Macau was going to drive across. Everyone in Hong Kong was going to drive across. Everyone in mainland China was going to drive across it to go to these territories. Macau needs special license plates.
Yes.
It's a mainland plate mixed with a Macanese plate, and you have to have it. It costs a lot of money.
Huge amounts. Only very rich people have that.
Hong Kong also needs this
Same.
plate, but
Yeah.
it's a different plate.
Yes.
And China needs these dual-purpose plates.
You need that USZ.
Yeah. For Macau, yeah.
Well, no, in mainland China.
For
it
mainland
means it's
China.
a foreign car coming in.
Yeah, it means you can go in and out.
It costs hundreds of thousands of RMB.
Yeah, and maybe even more now.
Yeah, it would be more now to get that plate. And you need very special circumstances to be able to put that on your car.
Yeah, so you see these cars, but it's probably like 1%. It's less than 1% of all cars in these
very
territories.
small percentage of cars have these special license plates and permission to cross the border.
So these would be the only cars that could use this hundreds of billions of dollar bridge.
Yeah, and buses.
And buses, obviously. But that's nothing.
Yeah.
No one can use this.
Sure.
So when people, I had reports from people that just saw the bridge. They said that there is no traffic on it.
Yeah.
There's literally no traffic. And number two, compounded by COVID restrictions, because there's 3 different restrictions.
Sure. And if you can't go,
No.
if you go from mainland China into Hong Kong, you have to quarantine for, I don't know what the period is right now, 7 days or
Yeah.
a number of days.
Sure.
And the same goes if you're going to mainland China from Hong Kong or into Macau, you have to quarantine even longer. So there's no point. People can't use this.
No, it's useless.
Yeah. All
Just
right.
wanted to give you guys an update.
Okay, excellent. So that's
Huge waste.
useless bridges, eh?
Yeah.
All right. No, never been a massive fan of bridges myself.
Do you regret me covering it?
What, this particular one?
I
No.
thought it was a great waste project to cover.
Yeah, anyway, so that's the Hong Kong Macau bridge. I remember all the brouhaha about this back
Yep.
in the day.
I just want to give people an update.
Okay, so what do we have next? Who's this book dude?
We calling him Book Dude?
Yeah.
So this is yet another billionaire that has been jailed.
In China.
He's a Chinese Canadian, actually.
Okay.
So they went after technically a foreign citizen, right? Mm-hmm. Xiao Jinhua. He was one of the richest people in China, if you really counted him as being a mainland Chinese person.
Right.
And he was a business tycoon, right?
Right.
He just got sentenced for 13 years in prison. Okay.
Okay.
Um,
Probably for wearing that outrageous hat combination with that
you
yellow
know, all the other pictures
hoodie.
I saw of him were much more normal, and I chose this one because it made him stand out a little bit. He looked like he was.
They were like, you cannot wear that. Those two colors clash. You know, you're going to
Yeah,
jail. No, but
sure.
seriously, what's the reason that he was put in jail for?
Potentially, we don't know actually.
Okay.
Potentially for harming the country's financial security.
Okay, was he smuggling money out? Probably.
I mean, who isn't at that level? Let's
Look,
be honest.
If you've got any kind of billionaire who's got houses and real estate in Canada, Chinese billionaire, well, that's because they moved their money out of China to buy that real estate and to move their money out of China. It's very common. It's over the past couple of decades, it's been one of the most popular ways to get your money out of mainland China is to essentially buy yourself a Canadian citizenship.
Yeah.
Go and invest, buy real estate, launder your money through the casinos, whatever. There's all sorts of ways to do it. They've busted
Sure.
a lot of scams, a lot of immigration scams. And that's where a lot of these rich, corrupt officials and corrupt businessmen who do a lot of weird bribery and theft and stuff, they end up in Australia and Canada mainly, and California, of course.
Right.
Yeah.
So the court fined him
Yeah.
$950,000 and then 13 years jail, and then his holding company, which is called Tomorrow's Holdings, for $8.1 billion US dollars.
It's a lot.
He was number 32 on Forbes' rich list, by the way. This is not like a guy that went to go buy a house in Canada, dude.
Right.
This is like
He bought multiple
Yeah.
houses. He bought he bought those like big condos and stuff, and he probably built them there. Yeah.
In fact, well, I mean, in China as well.
Yeah,
So
sure.
he was in bed with banks, insurers, and property developers as well.
Yeah.
And so this holding company, I mean, it says that he gave shares like of stock,
Yeah.
and then real estate and cash and other assets to government officials worth $100 million.
Right.
Up until 2021. So I mean, we're talking
bribery.
about I mean, it's also just how things work in China, and they go after people that get too big. And the real takeaway from this is that China under Xi Jinping does not like powerful people.
No.
And he gets rid of them. He's intimidated by them. He doesn't I can tell you this, he doesn't understand wealth. He doesn't understand things like this.
Sure.
He's bringing back state-controlled assets that really hurt the country in the past and moving away from privatization, the thing that was China's strong suit.
Yeah, that's what gave China what it has today.
He's taking that away, and he's hurting billionaires in the process. Oh, Crimea River, it's billionaires, but it's indicative of a larger problem.
Yeah, look, it just shows you the lack of freedom
Yeah, and the vying for state control.
and
over
the
pretty much
absolute control the state has over the people in
Yes,
China,
that's correct.
and how they go after them even if they're abroad, and they usually use coercion by going after their families.
That's right.
And there's this thing called transnational repression, which is used against people like us as well, okay? But mainly against dissidents and other Chinese people abroad, is they will find ways to destroy their lives, silence them, force them to come back to China, whatever the case may be, by using sort of devious means.
That's right.
You know?
I actually think he looks awesome with that outfit.
You do?
Yeah, it looks cool. It's very unique. It's fresh.
I feel like there was a sale at Gap or something. And he was like,
I think
ooh, that's in the
Gap.
bargain
That doesn't
bin.
look like Gap to me.
Whatever, like it's...
I mean, it's outlandish.
Yeah,
But that's why I think it's cool. Because like all the other pictures I found of him is just a dude in a business suit.
sure.
You know what I mean?
So you prefer creep shots of him on his day off reading a book?
Yeah, I mean, who doesn't read a book while he stands up outside?
Yeah, in a yellow hoodie. I mean, a bright orange, neon orange
Definitely
hoodie.
a natural
and
shot.
a red beanie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, poor billionaire in jail. But
Yeah,
there's
look,
a lot
it's
to
not.
learn from that.
Yeah, it's awful that anyone gets. What are you doing?
Just shut them off.
Oh, you want to shut something?
Yeah, it's too hot.
Oh, shutting the window. Yeah, okay. All right, guys. While C-Milk shuts the window, let's see what is next in the slide pack. I was too busy putting together something else today, which you'll see shortly.
I always put together the media pack.
Yeah, you do.
Act like it's a new thing.
No, but we normally we're doing it together,
Yeah,
right?
for sure.
Okay, so a little meme for you all before we continue. Let's get us down the corner here. This is shot from the CCP's new White Beaches ad campaign. That's a little throwback to good old Clamman and Clamman's proclivity for white beaches, pearl white beaches. He loves them so much.
Yeah, you can see there's white beaches in this shot.
Yeah, there are. There's some
see?
white beaches. Yeah, see exactly what you're talking about.
I like what they did by using the exposure to amplify the beach color as well.
Actually make it
Yeah,
white
to
this
make it
time.
white. They corrected it.
Yeah, that's correct.
That's kind of something China would do in propaganda.
They do.
What do I mean kind of? That's what they do.
We should show maybe in one of our segments next time the saturation that they do on the tourist stuff. It's ridiculous. Remember that thing we were watching about... what's that place we always used to go? Not Heyuan, is it? Yeah, Heyuan, right?
Dolphin one,
yeah, Heyuan, which is landlocked.
Yeah.
It's this town. There's some rivers there and stuff, but it's very far away from the sea. And they did this tourist campaign for it, and they showed dolphins
in the ocean.
Yeah, in the ocean, as if it was there. It's the most. We'll bring it up at some point.
We've shown it before, but it's been years.
Yeah, it's been years. We'll do it again. Yeah. All right, so now we got to talk about being unhealthy quickly, guys. It's super important that you take this. This is like every couple of months we remind you all about this abomination that we ate.
Yeah, and it's actually to remind ourselves.
Yeah, the other day I was like, hey, man, I've got a hankering for a big piece of fried chicken in between two glazed donuts.
Yeah, and so we always call each other up when we're having a moment of weakness, kind of like people do in AA.
Yeah.
And we're like, hey, don't eat donut-covered fried chicken.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, I forgot.
Yeah, exactly.
Damn it. I really wanted to eat that.
Yeah, yeah.
So thanks for saving my ass. I saved your ass the other day.
Yeah.
We just make sure that we're not eating that.
So what do you do if you have eaten one of those things and your health is in the toilet?
Well, it's not just that, but today's episode is brought to you by Athletic Greens. So Athletic Greens, what is it? With every scoop of AG1, you're absorbing 75 high-quality vitamins, minerals, whole food source superfoods, probiotics, and adaptogens to help you start the day right. This special blend of ingredients supports your gut health, your nervous system, your immune system, your energy, recovery, focus, and aging, all the things. So basically, it's a powder. You put it in a cup with some water. You drink it before your meals, and it gives you all the vitamins you need.
Good.
So that's good stuff.
Control your aging,
For sure.
Want to live to a couple hundred,
Well, let's not go all the way to that level. You never know.
Yeah, you never
we
know.
can't prove either way if you will live to 200 years old.
Yeah.
If you use Athletic Greens, but what I can tell you is it'll make you feel better.
Sure.
Instead of eating junk garbage and you're drinking a vitamin-packed drink that's going to help you out with your health, probably a better idea to go with the vitamin-packed drink.
Yeah.
Lots of people like it. It's keto, paleo, vegan-friendly, all that kind of stuff. Gluten-free, dairy-free, so you don't have to worry about it. It's not going to break anything.
Yeah.
Dietary restrictions. Has less than 1 gram of sugar, and you're investing in an all-in-one nutritional insurance. Right now, it's time to reclaim your health and arm your immune system with convenient daily nutrition. It's just 1 scoop in a cup of water every day, and that's it. No need for a million different pills or supplements to look out for your health. To make it easy, Athletic Greens is going to give you a free 1-year supply of immune-supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. All you have to do is visit athleticgreens.com/ADV. Again, that's athleticgreens.com/ADV to take control over your health and pick up the ultimate daily nutritional insurance. Now, we've used it. We like it. It's good stuff. They support the channel. That means,
That's
we can put our name behind it.
Super important. Very, very few companies actually do want to reach out and support us, specifically with the very effective cancel culture that the CCP employs against people like ourselves. So
That's right.
Thank you very much to Athletic Greens. Now, guys, we have a treat for you.
We do.
And we need your feedback on this. Super important. We've decided because we've talked about this many times in the past. You know, in China, you cannot escape the war fantasy dramas. It doesn't matter where you go. You turn on the TV in a hotel, you turn on the TV at your house, if it's linked up to any kind of cable TV or whatever. You go into a shopping mall, you walk down into those little convenience stores, you walk in an urban village, you walk on the streets, doesn't matter if you're in rural China, if you're in the cities. There's one thing you cannot escape, and that is war fantasy dramas. They call them War of the Resistance period dramas or whatever, right? And basically what it is it's this fictional take on that terrible time in China where Japan came in and invaded, right? And for those of you who don't know, Japan came in and they absolutely brutalized China. They destroyed China and took it over. And after World War II, after the Japanese were defeated, of course, they buggered off.
Took over Manchuria.
Yeah, but
Northern China.
Yeah, basic. But the thing is, the Japanese came in and did all this terrible stuff. Finally, they were kicked out after the war, and everything was back to normal, so to speak. But they did a lot of damage. So, what the Chinese government does and condones is they stoke hatred towards Japanese people, and the way they do this is by showing these dramas on TV every day, nonstop.
That's right.
You can turn on the TV at 24 hours a day in China, and there will be one of these War of the Resistance dramas.
Yeah.
Now, if they were factually accurate, it would actually be a loss of face for the CCP. Because if it was factually accurate, it would literally just show the Japanese dominating China.
Yeah.
That's what would happen.
It would be brutal.
It would be awful.
Yeah.
So, of course, the CCP has convinced the entire population that it was actually the Communist Party that defeated the Japanese.
That's right.
Not America dropping nuclear bombs or the Allies fighting against Germany and Japan and all that. That's got nothing to do with it. In the zeitgeist now, if you speak to people, they honestly do believe that it was the Communist Party that drove the Japanese out.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, and in order to, back this lie up,
Yeah.
they concoct these ridiculous scenarios in these fantasies, these fantasy dramas of like peasants rising up and defeating Japanese people with like rocks and pistols and kung fu and that kind of thing, right?
That's right.
But it's gotten to a point where people are actually just believing this stuff wholesale.
Yeah.
But it gets absurd.
Yeah.
And ridiculous. So we thought we'd poke a little fun at it and entertain you guys, and at the same time give you a little bit of an education by including a small clip from one of these sort of war fantasies every week and just breaking it down for you.
We call it revolutionary fantasies.
So yeah, we're going to show you a little introduction to this whole thing. So buckle in, okay? Hold tight. You're gonna have to, because anyway, let's do it. Here it comes. Here it comes.
This guy.
Yeah.
He's bordering Shamata level.
Remember, these are supposed to be period dramas, so this
Yeah.
is supposed to be set in the 30s.
What is this?
That hairstyle is not from the 1930s.
I can tell you that. This guy looks like a hairdresser from Hunan.
He does.
And what is he wearing? That's not 1930s attire.
I don't think that kind of pastel fabric, whatever you want to call that. What is that kind of
I
fabric?
don't even
You should know,
It's
right?
like wool. Why would I know?
No, it's like some crocheted crap.
I
you
have like
probably
3
wear.
shirts.
Okay, all right. I don't know. Anyway, and then
This guy, I love this guy.
Yeah,
This guy is quite the character. He looks like a nice
yeah,
guy.
yeah. He's like a kung fu peasant.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway,
So today's clip, introduce us.
there are tons of tropes in these things, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And one of the tropes you're about to see here is always one of the like brave revolutionary fighters gets caught by the
Yeah.
Japanese, okay?
Right.
And then is like heroically rescued. So we thought we'd just introduce you to this, and we thought we've translated it, we've put some subtitles, and we'll go back and read them
This
later.
is Revolutionary Fantasies episode 1.
Yeah, okay, we're gonna have to. That was quite quick. So for those of you who are listening, we'll go through this. The guy starts out. He says, dog shit, little Japanese ghost.
He actually says
that's a
that.
go shit.
No, with this, by the way, I want to, because, and I don't want to be one of those guys that explains all the jokes and stuff,
Yeah.
but I want everyone to understand, when we mistranslate stuff on purpose for comedic effect,
Yeah.
we're not doing with this,
No.
with this show. This is exactly what they say.
He said, dog shit, little Japanese ghost. Wait for nightfall. Grandpa's gonna come find you.
Who's the grandpa?
I don't know.
Hey, what is grandpa going to do?
Yeah. He's gonna devour you all one by one. So he's like, you dog shit Japanese little ghosts, you just wait for nightfall. Grandpa's gonna come find you and eat you all one by one.
Does that not sound like a little kid that's getting bullied on the playground?
Yeah.
My grandpa's going to come
Yeah.
mess you up.
I gotta know who this guy's grandpa
I
is.
want to know the grandpa.
But we are gonna find out who his grandma is though.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's watch. We won't interrupt anymore. Just watch the rest. Right. Yeah, definitely. You know what? Like, if I were those Japanese soldiers and the grandma Gu or whatever her name is starts sliding down with her little Luger, which can hold 10 rounds, but she somehow massacres this entire troop with that single pistol, I'd shoot him because he's laughing. I wouldn't pay attention to Grandma Gu and her pistol. I'd shoot him. I'd be
Right.
like, shut up, you're annoying.
Right. I loved his laugh. Can we see his laugh again? Real
Yeah,
quick?
sure.
I
Bring
think
it
that
back.
was kind of key.
Yeah.
So Grandma Goo shows up and just messes everyone up.
Yeah.
I mean, there's at least 20 guys there.
At least. Let's take a quick look again. That's 2. Yeah, dude, there's like 20 to 30 people there.
Yeah. I love the post-added
Yeah.
camera movement.
Yeah,
by the
yeah,
way.
yeah. See, she's very flimsy with that little broom handle Luger looking thing.
She's also incredibly young to be a grandmother.
Yeah. That's also true.
She's like my age.
Yeah, well, I mean, maybe that's just like
It's like
Like
catchy
a-
phrase. We don't
maybe
know.
it's like a nickname.
I can tell you what, I'm very invested.
Yeah, I wonder who Grandpa is now.
Right.
Anyway,
Good bring me to die.
all these like soldiers with rifles suck.
No one saw her coming.
No, and the thing is, they reused a lot of shots of the Japanese guys being shot. But we're just trying to explain to you, this is the kind of crap that they watch all day.
Yeah.
Okay, now, and I can.
This may be a higher end one.
Yeah, this one's a little higher end.
Yeah.
We'll be showing you they've got much better production quality
Yeah.
ones, and they got much worse
Yeah.
ones.
I like the bad ones. They're more fun to watch.
They're way more fun. And there are
this
all
is
these
good, though.
tropes, okay? So this is one of the tropes that you'll always see is like the one dude's just about to get like killed by the nasty Japanese, and then suddenly like a farmer will come with a bow and arrow or
That's
something.
definitely a thing. I've seen a trope where big rocks are used.
Yeah.
There will be like Japanese coming up a hill.
Yeah.
And one farmer, peasant dude, like communist dude, will
Yeah.
pick up a boulder or push a boulder, and it will somehow hit everyone in the process.
Oh, we've got lots of these things.
Another trope we saw was getting a woman as a prisoner
Yeah.
and then tying her to a table, and then the Japanese soldiers are about to feast.
Yeah, exactly.
On whatever that is implied.
Do whatever,
Yeah.
but then like something happens.
And then something happens.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's interesting. Another one that you'll always see is like a prisoner, because they'll take all these Chinese prisoners, and one of them will be like a peasant kung fu master who like somehow just beats up all the generals and stuff and samurai or whatever. It's fun to see because it's ridiculous. It is fantasy. None of this stuff.
Fantasy.
None of this stuff ever happened.
No.
Okay,
no,
it's completely historically inaccurate.
To be fair, the communist, because these shows are all based on the communist army. The vast majority are the communist army, right? Mao's army fighting the Japanese, which almost didn't happen to anywhere near the extent that the nationalist army fought the Japanese.
It was like, I think it was ridiculous, like only once.
Yeah, for a major
for actual battles, compared to all the other times. Anyway,
you'll have Japanese table feasts in the future. We'll have all kinds of stuff.
There's a reason we're showing you this, because it actually has a lot to do with today's soft power hour.
It does.
Okay, and it's difficult to explain to your average person out there why there's so much hatred towards Japan in China.
Yeah.
But now this might shed a little bit of light on it, because imagine you grew up with this crap on TV every day, all day, about evil Japanese people doing evil things to helpless, poor, peasants and Chinese people. And then these heroic sort of like peasants rising up and killing all the Japanese and stuff. So in your mind, these are just devils, they have been your whole life. And so that might give you a little bit of insight into why there's so much anti-Japanese rhetoric and hatred, because it's constantly stoked,
Yes.
And not just every once in a while, every day, all day, 24 hours a day.
So next time, I hope you guys enjoy 革命幻想, which is revolutionary fantasies, and I think you guys will enjoy all the tropes we have coming forward.
Yeah, let us know if you like this segment or not, because it's time for us to move into Soft Power Hour, which I'm
going to do a poll, actually.
Okay, yeah, do it. This is our main segment of the show, where we talk about how China is trying to change your mind and others through media and so on and so forth. So before we even get into this, I want to just tell you that there's something that a lot of Chinese women like to do, okay? When they travel.
What's that?
When they travel abroad, okay? When they travel to Korea and they travel to Japan.
Right.
And that is to go and dress up in traditional Korean clothing or traditional Japanese clothing, specifically Japanese clothing, a lot.
Sure.
My wife did it. All my Chinese students, that were young adults, if they ever had the chance to travel to Japan, they always go to Kyoto or something like that, rent a kimono, and then they dress you up, they do your hair up for you, and then you get to walk around the sort of beautiful temple grounds, you walk around the parks with the sakura trees and that kind of thing.
Not my thing.
Take photos.
But then again, I am not a woman that likes to cosplay, so I get why people like it.
I think it's awesome.
Sure.
I'm
saying personally.
Yeah, you wouldn't.
I don't usually wear kimonos.
No, neither do I.
Strolling through a little park forest.
Exactly. Right. I had a lot of fun when I went with my wife, because it was during Hanami season, and we got to see a lot of that. My wife dressed up in her kimono. I actually bought her a kimono. And we walked around, the different, in Osaka, the temples and stuff, in the big park. And there's like all those old castles. So it's very picturesque.
Interesting you bought one, because I feel like the only time you're ever going to use that in your entire life is that one occasion.
Yeah, well, it turned out, by the way, it was a secondhand one. But, if you buy a secondhand Japanese anything, it's new.
Yeah, it's well taken care of.
It's incredibly well taken care of. If you've ever bought like secondhand Japanese electronics or something in Japan, they're just like buying something new. It turned out it was the same to buy it that it would have been to rent one.
Okay.
So
might as well, right?
Yeah, just have it as a keepsake, even if she never wears it again.
Sense.
Because she could never wear it in China.
No.
That's the thing.
You'll see why.
It's just one of those things. But what I'm trying to get at here is that it's incredibly common, and it's a common thing for Chinese people to do when they travel abroad. Yeah. All the time. And they love to take photos, of themselves wearing yukata or kimono or whatever, right? Mm-hmm. And of course, there's a huge following of Japanese pop culture and anime and manga and that kind of thing in China as well. And so people enjoy cosplaying.
Yes.
Okay, and if you don't know what cosplaying is, it's dressing up. It's playing dress up.
Yeah.
It's literally, that's what it is. People dress up like their favorite TV character.
Yeah, the average cosplayer is going to be dressed as their favorite anime character.
That's normally what it is.
It's usually what it is.
Or a game character.
What's popular? Hunter x Hunter.
Naruto or something.
Naruto. You're gonna dress up as one of those dudes.
Yeah.
Or chicks.
Yeah. So this is what happened last week. Okay, I'm gonna put this on in the background here. In fact, I'll get us out of here. Is a girl was wearing she was cosplaying. She wasn't just wearing a kimono. She had a big blonde wig on as well. So she was just
doing cosplay.
Cosplaying as an anime character
in China.
Yeah, on the streets. And let's see what happened. I'll just play it out for you. Eventually.
对，类似于拍照的啊，可能是一些。如果你穿汉服来，我绝对不会这样说，对吧？但是你穿和服啊，作为一个中国人来说，你是中国人，你是中国人吗？我想请问你可以这样大声对我吼？可以。为什么？那现在啊，如果你们不配合，我想有什么理由呢？涉嫌寻衅滋事，好吧？而且我们穿一个衣服。好吧，那你们跟我们回去吧，好吧？带着来。好了，好。 你干什么？你干嘛这么拉我呢？你跑！好。To
show how bad.
Well, yeah. Let's go back to that. So, for those of you who can't understand Chinese, the most important thing here, if you read it, I mean, obviously, for those listening, is the fact that the police came up to her and started to hassle her. And she asked why, and they were like, "Well, if you were wearing Chinese, traditional clothes, we wouldn't be having this conversation." And it screamed at her, saying, "You're Chinese. How dare you wear Japanese clothes? You're Chinese." And she's like, "What have I done wrong? Why do you have a right to scold me?"
I want some context here. It's very important. Mm-hmm. Actually, why don't you freeze frame it on because you can see her whole outfit, as they're taking her away at the end there while I talk about this.
Yeah.
It's okay.
是中国人。
Yeah.
可以。那现在啊，如果你们不配合，我想有什么理由？
Okay, now this is important though. She asks, "What offense did I commit?"
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the offense is picking quarrels and provoking trouble, which, by the way, is a real law in China.
It's actually statistically one of the higher, most used crimes in China to nab people. There's a reason for that. You can use it for anything.
You can do it for anything. If someone's like, I don't like my noodles.
Yeah.
And, the cops come around and you're making a scene, they can arrest you for picking quarrels and provoking trouble.
So a police officer, just so everyone understands, a police officer is manhandling and arresting a young girl for dressing in a kimono with the blonde wig.
Yeah, well, a yukata, but same thing.
You know what I'm saying.
Let's get to where you can actually see she has this long blonde wig.
About this. It's okay. No, it's in the second clip.
Oh, in the second clip, you can see it all then.
Or there. That's fine too.
Let's get to the second clip anyway.
Some kid's watching this on his laptop. This is the kid going around.
Right there.
You can
okay,
see her there.
yeah,
She got a
see
mask
her.
on.
She got a mask on.
Yeah, yukata, it's called, right?
Yeah.
It's the type of
Guys, I just have to say that some of you might try to draw a parallel and say, well, maybe it's the same as a Jewish person wearing some kind of German clothing or something, but it's not.
No.
Because this is traditional Japanese stuff. The kimonos and that type of thing are from thousands of years ago. This is not during the imperial Japanese invasion. This is not a military uniform that she's wearing. No. So you cannot do that kind of equation. What's going on here is there's so much hatred for Japan that even if you try to wear a traditional Japanese outfit from thousands of years ago or hundreds of years ago, far long before any aggression between China and Japan, you're labeled as a traitor and you're arrested.
Yeah, that's what doesn't make sense, is if, like you said, it would be culturally insensitive. I agree. Japan deserves so much of the hate that they got because of what Japan did as a
awful
nation
things
under that leadership.
Absolutely.
Japan is not that now. in
No.
Japan, and I get that there's still some bad blood because of refusal for apologies and stuff like that. This is a separate issue.
Yeah.
But Japan wasn't that prior to that incident either,
Yeah.
right? So we're talking about also things that have heavy Chinese influence. You think Japan wasn't heavily influenced by China, ancient China?
Of course it
I mean,
is.
this looks very similar to wufu, which is like that ancient Chinese clothing.
Yeah.
All of this is intertwined in some way. You could always find different ways to actually excuse this. But the point of the matter is that you don't arrest someone for wearing a cosplay outfit that's culturally acceptable pretty much everywhere.
Everywhere in the world.
And the most important thing I want you guys to understand is what she's wearing here. When I was in China, when Winston was in China, up until, let's say, 2016, 2017, would have been absolutely fine.
Correct.
No one would have given a shit about
We
this.
used to go to restaurants where the staff used to dress like
Yep.
this. You know,
Yep.
this is something that the young kids would dress up and go to the park and stuff. We've seen it.
That's my issue, is that it was absolutely fine.
Yeah.
No, you might have gotten a snide comment from a Chinese ox looking guy.
Yeah, or an uncle
right?
or something.
Chinese ox, a character of the show, by the way.
Yes.
Like a undereducated kind of tattooed guy that's like a Han nationalist or something.
Sure.
You might get something like that, but the vast majority of people not only would not give a shit, but they might even take photos and be like, "Oh, that looks so pretty."
Yeah.
It was fine. So you realize that I am not talking about like a cultural remnant here. Yes, there's a pervasive hatred of Japan that has been there since I was in China, and
Yeah.
it goes all the way back to Chairman Mao's time. But it's more than that.
Yeah.
It's now propelled to a level of such insecurity and such brazen just toxicness, like going after people for representing anything that's not Chinese now.
Yeah.
And in allowing the public to swarm them, allowing public opinion to ruin people's lives, committing suicide in some places and some situations. To allow society to get to this point and encourage it shows what nationalism is coming, is seeding nationalism is being promoted by the Chinese
nationalism and
Communist Party.
xenophobia.
Yeah.
It's awful.
Promoted.
Yeah. You know, I take a huge amount of, offense when it comes to this kind of thing. Because I would never go after somebody for wearing traditional clothing.
No.
It's
obscene.
Yeah, even if it was... And that's another thing. Like, I don't harbor a hatred for any particular country or nation or anything like that. And this shows that there's just pure and utter hatred towards
Cultural Revolution 2.0.
Japan. Yeah. It's awful. You know, how is a traditional kimono, yukata or something, how is that offensive?
How is that the Nanjing Massacre?
Yeah, it's not.
Did they wear that during then?
No.
No.
You got like Hirohito and the army guys with their, uniforms and
You're
stuff.
dressing as that?
Yes.
He had a little bit of a different
It's
story.
kind of like if a Jewish person was dressing as an SS like Nazi
right.
officer.
It would be in massively poor
then you
taste.
can understand
Yeah.
it. Then you can understand why they'd be like, get the hell out of here.
Yeah, but again, maybe
and we'll
not from a
arrest you.
legal response.
Yeah,
right?
but in
yeah,
in
you
China
could
you
see
could
it.
understand that,
Yeah.
but this is not that.
Right.
She's dressing up as an anime character, for goodness sake, with a long blonde wig.
Right.
Anyway,
Blind hatred,
Just-
and it's promoted.
just showing you that it's gotten to a point where people are being arrested for this.
Now, let me flip this on its head a little bit.
Right.
There was a massive backlash online with a lot of Chinese netizens that said this is outlandish.
Yeah.
This girl was not alone, thank goodness.
Yeah.
But the legal response forced her to make a public
She
apology.
made a public apology saying
And she
that
said, "I'm
she's
sorry that I defamed our country. I'm sorry that I was insensitive. I won't do this again." And she made allusions to going to Japan wearing Han clothing, that kind of stuff. It was
It's
bad.
bloody awful. It really is. It's so restrictive. Imagine you lived in a society where you're told you may not
Where
you
would
may
want?
not wear anything other than a nationalist pride outfit.
Yeah.
Yeah. You may only wear that. It's like if someone came to America and said, you may not wear any clothes except for like red, white, and blue, or you can dress up like George Washington if you like. You know what I mean? Otherwise, it's got to be like an American T-shirt
With like an eagle on
and
it.
jeans.
Yeah.
That's okay. You got to wear
You
jeans
have to hold a hot dog.
and a hat and a baseball cap.
Yes. Yes.
But it must be an American team.
Yes. Do not pick another.
Yeah.
Don't wear the Toronto Blue Jays.
No. So it's just if you look at it from a logical and reasonable point of view, what's going on in China right now is absurd,
Right.
and it's awful, and it's a lack of freedom, and it's xenophobia, and it's racism, and it's just crap. And speaking of racism, that's our next little clip here. I'm going to preface this. There's this girl who is a dancer. You can see her there in the background. And she's a person of color. You know, I personally am a person of non-color. So just like you, all right? This person is a person of color. And she's went to China to be a dancer or do dancing. And she actually does a lot of defense for China, believe it or not.
Oh,
So
I didn't know
she's-
any context about her.
She's done a lot of stuff sort of like excusing what the Chinese government does. And that
Oh,
type of
wow, really?
thing. Yeah, from what I've heard.
Are we going full shill level? Or are we going...
Pretty much. But I mean, look, I think anyone who goes to China to make a career there or to further their
Sure.
career or
Yeah,
whatever
I
will
get it,
always do that kind of stuff because they realize that they have to.
Self-preservation, yeah.
And it also helps boost their career.
It does, yeah.
Anyway, she released this video which has been going all over the place, which is good for people to see. And we're just going to play it out for you very quickly over here. Okay? Let's do it.
Know how bad these comments really were on my dance video, like on Chinese social media.
Yeah, we muted it for copyright reasons for this
This
dancing.
is her dance, very talented.
Yeah, she's a good dancer.
That's for sure.
So these are the contents of the post, and as you can see, it's just pictures of monkeys dancing, a lot of really racist black people, leave China, kick the person kicking the black person, all these like disformed babies and all this monkeys, black hippos. Comments in Chinese saying, wow, animals can jump, and like these gun photos and things like that. And it even goes as worse as like showing this swastika and stuff like that. I just posted a dance video and there was all these things, and that happens anytime I post anything, especially if I say like I'm black in the video, or if someone thinks that I'm black, or if I dance or do something that's like stereotypical black in China. And I saw other people posting, oh, that's why I don't want to learn Chinese, or this makes me not want to learn Chinese or go to China anymore. And to let you know, sadly, it doesn't matter where you are in the world, if you have a little bit of melanin in your skin, you're going to be treated like this.
Now, I'm going to call absolute bullshit on that, by the way.
By the way, sympathy for the shit she had to go through.
Absolutely. But this idea that you'll get treated like this if you got a bit of melanin in your skin anywhere in the world, absolute fucking bullshit, sorry to say, especially if you're in Africa.
Yeah, I mean...
What the fuck? I'm African, okay? So I take a lot of
Sure.
umbrage to this kind of
Yeah,
thing.
I don't like the generalization
Yeah.
that every country is super racist like China.
And I don't like the defense
China
of
takes the
China's
cake.
behavior.
Yeah.
Where else in the world will you have people, if you post a dancing picture of yourself as an African person or somebody with, you know, black skin or brown skin or whatever skin, where else in the world are you going to get people publicly on their social media posting pictures of gorillas and apes and stuff and calling you an animal?
And telling you to die with guns
yeah,
and
leave China and all that. That's bullshit. That only happens in China.
It was a sheer flood of that stuff. It wasn't like one, right? So that's the problem.
Yeah.
Is it was the sheer flood of that.
Yeah.
You
And
can
she said
say
every time she posts.
I'll give her the benefit of the doubt and say maybe she meant racism exists in every country. I'll say yes. Okay?
Absolutely.
Now, if you were to post yourself dancing on social media in the U.S., I can guarantee you would get less than 1% of the shit that she just got on social media in China. So there's no excuse for that.
Not only that,
you're allowed to be upset.
Yeah.
She's allowed to be upset.
There are also hate speech laws,
Right.
okay, in most countries,
Right.
okay, in all developed countries anyway.
Right.
So if someone's going to go post on your social media stuff about dancing apes and equating you to gorilla and, you know, like putting swastika and, you know, really racist, disgusting comments, they're going to get in trouble.
Yes.
Okay? They're going to have their account banned at the very minimum.
And society will be against it at large.
This is a I'm going to say it right now. This is a uniquely Chinese problem. Okay?
Right.
And I mean it. And the unique Chinese problem I'm talking about here is the societally accepted open racism.
Right.
It's societally acceptable. And we know because we live there.
Yeah.
Okay? And when we walk with our black friends on the street, we will have people shouting
It's
out, "Hey,
absolute
Gui,
hell. It's
ni
hell.
kan ta na ma chou,"
Yeah.
you know, like they'll say all sorts of awful things right to their face, right while in earshot. Like, look at, there's a black ghost. He smells bad. Look how ugly he is. You know, looks like a monkey, that
Across
kind of
the
thing.
street, I don't want to be near him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this kind of stuff. Openly. And the racism is, discrimination is probably a better word here. It goes everywhere. It doesn't
Right.
matter who you are, what kind of foreigner you are. White foreigners get discrimination too. And it's, in many cases, a positive form of discrimination where they're like, oh, look, here's a white foreigner. Let's invite him over to our table for drinks. Let's
Or,
go and
use him in
bother
an
him.
advertisement.
Let's go and talk to him and this and that and the next thing. So, you are... you do suffer different types. I've talked about this before. Either a positive form of discrimination or a very negative form of discrimination, like she's gone through here. And
Right.
it's absolutely awful that she has to go through this stuff. But what boggles my mind is the fact that she makes excuses for this.
Sure.
And I understand because she's doing some shilling for China, and she's got a career there.
And to stay safe in
whatever.
China, for sure.
Yeah.
But I think it's bad for the movement for anti-racism and on the whole to make excuses for it, because then it turns away the eyes
Yeah.
from or the fingers from pointing blame at China for its very clear issue.
Yes, it is a clear issue in China.
Yeah.
Open racism. I've made many videos about this. People shouting the N-word at
For
basketball
God's
players.
sakes, the Chinese government threw black people out on the street.
Yeah.
Only black people.
Only
by the
black
way.
people, yeah, in Guangzhou.
Because they thought they were the carriers of COVID.
Yeah, didn't allow them to stay in hotels, kicked them out of their apartments.
It's at a state level, guys. It's
Yeah.
it's not like an anomaly.
No, it's not some like racist rednecks in the woods or something. This is
Sure.
like societally acceptable racism, specifically towards black people that I've noticed living in China and just everywhere. That's not to say that all Chinese people are racist. I'm saying that
but
it's
it's societally acceptable
Yeah.
in mainland China.
Yeah,
And
to
the
be
Chinese
racist.
government won't do anything about it. At the same time, they're colonizing Africa.
Yes.
And they're acting like they're the saviors of a lesser being. That's
Yeah.
how they act on a state diplomatic level.
Yes.
And until people realize that and actually make them pay for doing that,
Yeah.
at a state level, at a diplomatic level, and to be completely acknowledge their bad behavior, then nothing is going to happen.
Yeah.
That's my issue.
Correct. Let's see what else she has to say.
We can't act like America's different.
What we can't act like America's different. Yes, we can. That's some naivety right there. That's some delusion right there.
Yeah.
Because America is different. If you post a video of yourself, here's a test. Post a video of your dance on American social media.
TikTok,
Yeah.
whatever. Instagram.
Instagram. Put it on Instagram. Put it on Facebook. Put it on
Let's see
Put
the
on
comments.
YouTube.
Let's see the comments.
Let's see if everybody says you look like like what the Chinese disgusting racists wrote there on your video.
I think this is a massive disservice to our black friends that are still in China too,
Yeah.
is that they're combating this on a daily basis.
Yeah.
This is not fair.
It's absolutely not
to
fair.
excuse it. And it's not fair to you. I'm talking
No,
to her.
yeah.
It's not fair to her either.
Yeah.
Address it.
You got to say, look, this is not normal. This is unordinary.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is like racism to the max, unfiltered racism.
Right.
It's completely unfiltered and out
Yeah.
there, and it's acceptable because remember, in China, the internet, and especially comments and discussions on the internet, are the most censored in the world.
Yes.
If the Chinese government doesn't want something said or talked about or a certain behavior to be promoted, it gets completely silenced and censored. So when you've got hundreds, thousands of these racist comments comparing you to a baboon or an ape or whatever that they were doing over there and a dancing monkey and all that, that's because it's allowed. And when something is allowed on the Chinese internet, it means it's condoned
Right.
in general by the government.
Yeah.
So,
That still gives no excuse for like these type of things. Like, what the heck? What animal is this? Like, bruh, this is I don't even know how to say that in English.
Urshi means disgusting.
Yeah.
Go back to Africa, like, and whenever someone says like a positive comment, like this one, well then someone responds with like these like bad comments. Like I said, it doesn't matter what it is. Now there's so many layers to like racism, especially in
Yeah. It's just unfortunately she just doesn't seem to understand what like racism is, obviously, because it's staring her in the face there, and she just still makes excuses for it. Anyway, so we just thought we'd bring that to your attention because it's been going around a little bit now, and it's awful, that sort of behavior. And I wish her all the best. I really do hope that she realizes that that's something that she's going to have to live with if she's going to continue her career in China.
Yeah, it's pretty rough.
I feel like after a video like this, if it gets a lot of exposure, It might actually make the government step in.
Yeah, which is a good thing. I'm glad she made it.
Yes.
Right. And I understand she has to treat this with kid gloves. I get
but
it.
don't for a 1 second try to
Yeah.
say that America's the same as that, because that's a lie.
Right.
An absolute lie.
Yeah.
Because you can say there's racism in America, which of course there is, but you'll never get an unfiltered, socially acceptable
Tirade.
like tidal wave
Yeah.
of racism like you do in China.
Right.
Yeah, so I guess that's it for Soft Power Hour.
Yes.
Don't wear whatever you like in China. You might get arrested, and just don't be even slightly black in China, or you'll face racism
Yeah.
in general, in public.
For sure.
All right, so let's move on, shall we? We're going to answer a couple of super chats.
Sure.
Let's do it.
CDXX Greed 420. Thanks for keeping it real.
Yeah.
Charles Womack says, Matt, have you considered wearing a suit too? I mean, anything's a suit if you want it to be.
What is that even supposed to mean? That's not right.
Could be my suit.
It's not a suit. It's a pastel pink shirt.
Sure. Why do you have to say pastel?
Because it is.
Is it?
Yeah, it's not just
It's
normal
very
pink.
slightly pink.
Yeah.
And no, I don't want to wear a suit. I think there would be too much.
Yeah, right.
Too much suit on the screen.
I've been wearing a suit since I was a kid, so
Yeah.
that's just my thing.
No, I know. I'm not criticizing your
Yeah.
choice, but I don't need to adopt that.
No, you don't.
You know.
I mean, if you wanted to look more professional in life, you could, but that's up to you.
I don't need to.
No.
I'll be fine the way I am.
Yeah, of course.
Dylan Viennet says, went to Iraq last year, and I saw most locals don't hold grudges against Westerners for the awful things our armies did during the war. It's ridiculous that China can't let go of 200-year-old incidents. Well, they can. China uses it to promote their one-party rule. And they say, if this will happen again, if you don't use the CCP as your, guiding figure and guiding light, and it's used for nationalism,
It's
political
such
promotion.
a good political tool, because I've seen it happen twice when I was living in China. I saw it happen massively,
Yes.
where there's something going on and the people start to get dissatisfied with the Chinese government, with the
Yeah.
Communist Party in a big way because of a big scandal or a massive amount of money is lost or whatever
Yeah.
the case. They turn on that racism, xenophobia tap, and they turn on the like anti-Japanese thing. And it works every time.
Yeah.
It whips everybody into a frenzy,
Does,
and they
yeah.
allow them to go out and protest. And they're
Yeah.
like, oh, these Japanese people are doing this or whatever. And then all of a sudden, everyone's out on the streets and up on the billboards. It's like the Senkaku, the Diaoyu Dao, the island belongs to China. And everyone's out there like, yes, it belongs to China. Screw Japanese people. And they're turning over Japanese cars and attacking sushi restaurants. And it's such a good way
Yeah.
to get the mind of the sort of social consciousness off of the problem
Yes.
that's the government is facing.
Yeah.
So they use it as a political tool, and they've used it over and over again. They will continue to use it, and that's why it's useful for them to stoke the hatred.
That's very true.
You know?
Yeah. I remember you from Abraham Alvarez.
Cool.
Norman Fair, Xi Jinping thought of the week. This baozi would be yummy in my tummy with some honey. I think he would probably say it was how true.
Yeah, 好吃. Oh yeah, you would. He would go like this.
好吃，好吃。
Absolutely
Poor
would.
Clam Man.
Yes.
Why did I say that? I'm mirroring people's sentiment about Clam Man. He's not a good guy.
No, he's a horrible man.
Jerry Huang says, he called us the C word the other day.
Yeah, I did.
Remember that?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. Jerry, somebody sent it to us. He's in the open called us C words.
Of course.
Clam
done
Man,
worse.
I'll call Clam Man a C word. He's a
Yes.
clam. Man.
Yeah, Clam Man, because, well, and don't forget what he does in his spare time.
我先冲我。
That's true.
Yeah.
It's a shame because it seems like a dying profession. I don't
Yeah.
think there's a whole lot of future in that.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm going to end this poll, by the way.
Okay.
With almost 2,000 votes. Make Revolutionary Fantasies a permanent segment? Yes.
Okay.
84% say yes.
That's going to be fun. That means I get to dig up one of these stupid things every week. It's hilarious. I always end up laughing when I look at this stuff because it's so outlandish.
Yes.
And I saw some ones today which I can't wait to share with you all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, some good stuff.
Yeah.
I'll do one more here.
Okay.
Jerry Huang, friend of the channel, says, I recently saw someone on Reddit claim that being a CCP is the same, anti-CCP is being the same as Western imperialism. Thoughts on this statement? By the way, happy belated birthday, Winston.
Thank you.
I'm not sure if you received my patron birthday message yet.
I have not gone through my Patreon messages over the last week, and I apologize. I'll get back to you. And thank you very much. And that statement is absolute nonsense.
I mean, it's one of those things where it's become so out of fashion to be pro-CCP. and the vast majority of the world thinks it's awful and almost borderline like a faux pas. If you were pro CCP in a public conversation, people would be like, so you like genocide?
Yeah.
So, you know, the common talking points would be like, so you like oppression?
Yeah.
So you like neo-colonialism?
Yeah.
Right? And now that's become so out of fashion that I think that pro CCP apologists need to find a way to cancel that.
Yeah.
To cancel anti-CCP by saying
Sure.
it's like Western imperialism. Absolutely not.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're going to move on.
Yeah.
Okay, Wu Mao Corner. This is where we get to talk about the haters and all their nonsense they get up to. The Wu Maos are, of course, the paid internet trolls. They get paid 50 cents per comment they leave, apparently.
True that.
Yeah, or some of them do it for free. Those are called Zigang Wu Mao, which means like a volunteer, 50 cents. Okay, so what do we got going on here?
So I actually mentioned this in my last video. Not this specific instance, but I called it because there is... You remember when we were just talking about the crime about picking quarrels and starting rumors?
Yeah.
So that's a very blanket crime in China to really indict anyone that is against the government.
Yeah,
That's
it's
really what
super
it means.
easy
Yeah.
because you can make it stick to anyone under any circumstance.
Yeah.
Literally anyone.
Anyone.
Someone leaves a comment online, you
Yeah.
can get them for that. Someone talks in a WeChat group, you know, they can get them with that. There's that other one which is spreading rumors and something or other. What was that one? The one that they got Li Wenliang with? It's like social, like disturbing harmony and spreading rumors, something like that.
That's right.
It's very similar.
That's right.
That's a similar kind of a charge. But basically, it means that the Chinese government can arrest anyone for any reason whatsoever whenever they like.
That's absolutely correct.
Yeah, anyway. So what's the deal with this guy?
Sorry, I just forgot to put something in the media pack. Do you think you can pull it up by itself when you get a chance?
Oh, I just hit a ball sack by mistake.
Oh, that's okay. You can hit a ball sack. Hopefully it's not mine.
No. Yeah. Anyway, so what were you saying?
Just asking if you have the ability to put something, a video on.
Sure. Just
Okay,
get it
cool.
up on.
Just letting,
Just get it
in a
over
bit,
to
I'll
the
get it
streaming
over.
machine.
Okay, cool. So this guy.
Yeah. Let me get him
So
back
anyway,
up there.
so you bring it back to my video. I was talking about how they made it illegal to, start rumors and spread things like that.
Yeah.
At the same time, they're also making it illegal to start questioning military endeavors,
Right.
specifically casualties. If there is a wartime scenario with China, it's now illegal to question the official data surrounding casualties.
Yeah.
It's illegal to question or make or start rumors about the military capabilities of China.
Right.
And that's why I made my video called "China Would Lose a War with the USA."
Sure.
They have drank their own Kool-Aid and they're trying a massive propaganda campaign to make sure that everyone in China believes that they would win a war. Right? They're really pumping up everyone for war.
Yeah.
Number two, trying to get that propaganda to go outside and say, don't even bother standing up to us because we would win a war.
Yeah,
When It's
yeah.
just so outlandishly false.
Sure.
Nobody wants a war.
No,
right?
of course not.
But we're going to let it get to that point if we allow China to continue to let it suck itself off. For lack of better words.
Sure.
Like that's pretty much where we're at here.
Yeah.
The Chinese government has gotten so brazen and violent with their propaganda about fighting the U.S. and fighting the world.
That's something I've always been a little worried about, because when you've instilled so much nationalist pride in everybody like that,
Yeah.
and made everybody feel as if they're the most powerful, they're the strongest, nation in the world, and their military is the strongest, that might filter down to that pilot or that one person behind
Yeah.
a trigger.
That's the problem.
Who then fires that first shot because
Right.
he, in his mind, believes that he is the most powerful, backed by the most powerful country and military in the world, and he fires that missile at that boat or that other plane, which he shouldn't do, and starts something.
When you have such disassociation, like cognitive dissonance going on in China right now, where you've told your populace that we're going to war, this is the final red line.
Yeah.
America has really crossed the line this time. We got to take them down now. And then strategically in Zhongnanhai, like in Beijing, in these offices with actual leadership, sitting down going, of course we're not going to do anything.
Sure.
That message, those wires can get crossed pretty damn easily.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Yes, there's leadership and there's checks to make sure that stuff like that doesn't happen. But all you need is an errant person
Yes.
that does not want to listen to those orders because they've been told over and over again that China's not going to take any more
Yeah, and
shit.
that China will attack the next time this happens.
So my point in my video was to don't let war happen.
Yeah.
Because China is pushing for war without actually going to, they don't want to pull the trigger first, right?
Yeah.
But something might happen
Might.
if you stoke a populace to the point where it's gotten out of control.
Yeah, so who's this guy behind us, by the way?
This guy is a nuclear researcher, right?
Okay.
Associate professor, sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Renmin University of China. He focuses on technical arms control, including missile defense, nuclear strategy, and U.S. strategic stability. Received his PhD in political science from Tsinghua, right?
Yeah,
Prior
smart
to
man.
that-
Smart man.
Yeah, he worked for 6 years at the China Aerospace Science and Industry Corporation as a missile engineer. Okay?
All right.
He previously held visiting fellowships at Harvard University, Dartmouth College, Stanford University, and Massachusetts Institute of Technology, MIT. He received... so he's basically
No, that's where they got the nuclear stuff from, is from those internships. No, just kidding.
I can't point fingers at this guy.
Just kidding.
This guy... what do you see here? What is the message that translates to the bottom?
It says this user is currently banned for violating relevant laws and regulations. Now, why would that be on his public Weibo page?
So apparently he got arrested. I'll tell you why.
Okay.
He questioned China's nuclear ambitions.
Okay.
And I don't know a ton of details other than the fact that we called this that it's going to get more and more oppressive when talking about China's military capabilities. Because somebody that's an expert in the field is questioning publicly what's going on, and he got arrested for it.
Yeah.
This is where we're at.
I made the whole video about the nuclear weapons. And, the thing is, China's always kept it a secret.
Yeah.
They've always been playing catch up. They've always overstated their capabilities, as they do with everything in their military. I mean, look at that stupid hydrogen tractor we talked about last time.
Good analogy.
It's always like, let's put it out there. Look, we're so advanced. We've got a hydrogen-powered 5G tractor. Turns out it's fake. And it's made out of like cheap assets, 3D assets you can buy
video game
online.
asset.
Yeah, exactly. It's fake. And they do that with the military stuff too.
yeah.
So they do that with, we have the strongest nuclear weapons. We've got a huge amount, blah, blah, blah. Nobody knows. And it's all a bluffing game. And China's very good at bluffing. And so they do that all the time. And it keeps people guessing. And it makes people fear them in case they do have. Because it's very easy for them to say, we've built like a huge stockpile of missiles and they're aimed at you and they're, we've got them. And people wouldn't know because it's been so secret. They'll be like, oh, wow, better be careful.
Right.
Meanwhile, they don't have anything.
I mean, I've noticed a huge problem with all, and I'm not one of these people that says like, oh, stop consuming mainstream media.
Sure.
But I do see a dangerous trend right now that is really propping up China's military capabilities. Yeah. And it's not that you should just go poo-poo everything and say, oh, they're not dangerous.
Oh, they definitely have weapons. They have nuclear weapons.
Yes, in the wrong hands, this is very bad, right? That being said, when you keep saying China is so strong, China is such a big threat now militarily, so we have to make sure that we're ready because like they've outpaced our air program or whatever, and it's just nonsense. Yeah, it's just statistically nonsense, right?
It's not possible for them to exceed a technology that they've copied.
Correct.
They copy the technology.
They might add bells and whistles.
Yeah, they definitely do, but they're not going. They have to wait for you to invent the new thing to steal it in order to make it.
Right, but I was talking to someone the other day, and again, this is an anecdotal thing, but I think it represents a lot of why these things are happening in the media, these headlines, and these articles, is because what's the problem in saying that China's massive military threat and that they've gotten so powerful and strong and so advanced? What's actually the harm in that? Because all it's doing is spreading awareness about that, and I agree with that to a certain extent. But my issue is that it brings China to a negotiation table that they don't deserve to be at.
Right.
So when you become this massive, huge threat with all of this all this crazy advancement that you have in your military capabilities, it makes the public put in leadership. It makes the public vote on certain things. It makes leadership and think tanks and all that kind of stuff in other countries take China so seriously that it brings it to the negotiation table and say, okay, what do you want? Okay, what can we do to make you not do that anymore? Yeah. Right? And that's the danger in this.
Yeah, I mean, I think it serves another purpose too, and that is to ensure that there's more funding for the military here.
Yeah,
you know,
for
it's
sure.
like,
I mean, there's...
oh, look, there's such a rising threat. We better counter it. Let's put more money into
I think there's a two-pronged approach there, right? But but I think there's a big negative there.
Yeah. What I don't like is the world taking China at face value. Okay, I don't like that they're just eat up whatever the Chinese military puts out there, whatever the Chinese government puts out there, and it's propaganda.
Yes.
You shouldn't. You shouldn't just be like, they say, oh, we're ready for an invasion. In 10 seconds, we can take over this or do that. And
Right.
people actually believe that. They
Yeah,
shouldn't.
I mean, that's the issue, right?
They shouldn't believe any of that crap. You should just analyze it correctly. Use experts who know in the field, who know what's going on, and figure it out.
Right.
But this
Unlike the experts in the field, they get arrested.
yeah, this
in
is
China.
very telling,
Yeah,
because if
it
you
is.
can't even question anything in the Chinese military, you can't question the losses. This is what happens to you. This is not good.
No.
Yeah. Anyway, so how is that Wu Mao corner, by the way? Is he now a Wu Mao?
No, that was Wu Mao tactics to silence him.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
think it's
What's
very
going
Wu
on with
Mao.
this self-imposed censorship?
So this is it's actually from a really good account. This is an Instagram account. It's
Right.
called International FCCP.
Okay.
I really like them. Actually, I sent them a message the other day.
Cool.
They do really good stuff, and I like their visual representation of hot button issues that the Chinese government's doing.
Okay, so what's this?
So this is actually, it's one of those things that's a slippery slope. If we let this kind of stuff happen and without repercussion,
Yeah.
then I think we're in for a really dark future, because there's this AI tool called Midjourney. It's very
Yes, I've
very
seen
crazy.
it. It's looking like Midjourney is going to put a lot of artists out of a job.
Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Like I paid to get that little shoot the fish thing that I posted on Twitter, just to make fun of the Chinese military shooting fish.
Yes.
I paid a couple $100 to get that done, right?
Right.
But if I just had a Midjourney
Right.
or whatever it's called, is it Midjourney? Yeah, Midjourney
Midjourney,
account. I could have just made it for free.
You could have done it for free, and it probably would have been great.
Yeah.
Of course, there's a whole debate about whether it's got a human touch or not. But the point is
Mm-hmm.
that I have seen AI get so good at this kind
Yeah.
of stuff within a matter of months.
Sure.
Because of the nature of how it works, machine learning,
Yeah.
it's compounding on itself all the time.
Yeah.
And what happened here was that the very popular app here, Midjourney, they
Yeah.
censored Jinping, which is Xi Jinping, like the
Yeah.
leader of China, right? But it allows the names of other political figures.
Yes.
And that is very, very bad. This is not a Chinese app. I could understand if this is coming from Beijing. I mean, it's the pettiest little insecure government I've ever seen.
Yeah.
But this isn't North Korea. This isn't China. This is not a China-based app.
Yeah, I want to read some of these things
Sure.
here. So it says Midjourney is a new AI art tool that allows people to generate artwork with text inputs. Their rules prohibit all PG-13 content. So obviously you can't put nudity or something like that in there, right?
You can't write boobs or something.
Yeah, sure. But the word Jinping is also banned, while the name of other political figures are allowed. Okay, so for instance, someone said, I can make a picture of Vladimir Putin making out with Biden, but I can't make a picture of Xi Jinping. Tell me again how that's for PG-13 reasons. So the founder of Midjourney said it is to minimize drama, stating that they did not want to deal with Chinese political satire. However, it effectively imposed self-censorship on a specific topic. I mean, I think that's terrible that the founder himself is saying, look, we don't want any drama, so we're not allowing Xi Jinping. We're not allowing
don't want any
Jinping.
backlash.
Oh, we don't want any drama. But they allow Putin.
Yeah,
So Russians don't matter to you then?
right. Well, pro-Putin Russians. Yeah.
Well, it doesn't matter.
Any political figure.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
there are
fine.
tons of people who support Putin.
Yeah, for sure.
What about all the tankies out there crying in their milk right now?
Yeah.
Eating their breakfast cereal as comfort food under the blanket.
They see a bad Putin picture, like a Putin gay picture or something, and they cry into their
They
cereal.
probably like that, actually. It's their fantasy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think
Gotcha.
they probably have that on their wall.
It's like deviant art thing.
Yeah, but they have themselves with Putin.
Oh, that would be a tanky thing,
yeah,
right?
yeah, absolutely. Anyway, the fact of the matter
It doesn't
is...
even matter that the what's it called, the tendency, like what your sexuality is at that point. Tankies want to be with an authoritarian.
They do.
let's be
That's
honest.
correct. Yeah, they do. I mean, it's the fact that the founder of this fantastic new technology, which allows you to create anything, is so afraid of China
Right.
that they censor on behalf of China. It's like Hollywood all over again.
It is, and that's the problem. Is that this is not a little, a little fly in the ointment here.
Yeah.
AI and machine learning is massive.
Yeah.
And if something like this takes off and becomes the next TikTok or the next YouTube of AI art,
Mm-hmm.
right? If you've banned one political figure from any sort of critique, you're setting a very dangerous precedent. And that's exactly what I saw on TikTok. When I got banned on TikTok, and I look around, the sheer amount of bans that go around for anything anti-CCP on American TikTok is causing a new generation of kids that use this app to not be exposed to criticism of the Chinese government.
Yeah.
That is a dangerous precedent to set.
Well, let me read the actual comment from the founder. Okay, he says, I think we want to minimize drama and maximize the number of people with access to this technology. From that standpoint, Chinese political satire isn't something we want to have to deal with. So this is another way of saying we want a piece of the Chinese market, and we're afraid that we're going to get blocked and banned and not allowed.
Right.
Because if they allow you to make fun of Trump or something, which of course they do, or Biden, as you can see, you can have a picture of Vladimir Putin making out with Joe Biden. That's fine. Why aren't they worried about being blocked out of the American, maximizing their reach with Americans?
Right.
Why
or
are
wherever.
They not, or Russians or whatever.
Or any country.
Yeah, why aren't they afraid of any of this? It's because China's the only government that's petty enough to completely control its entire populace and say, this is now something that you're not allowed to do, and you're not allowed to use. We're going to block you from using it. You know?
Yeah.
Because there's no freedom of choice in China.
Right. Go to the next slide there.
Okay, let's go to the next slide. It's really pissing me off, this kind of capitulation to the CCP. You know what? It really, really pisses me off, like you won't believe. Okay, so
Midjourney runs on Discord, which it means technically it isn't even accessible in China.
Yes.
So they're not capitulating to a Chinese market, they're capitulating to government.
Yes.
That's the issue. If you want to go with your bullshit excuse about saying, oh, you don't want to piss off a very nationalist populace, I might even buy that.
Yeah, you want them to be able to enjoy your product.
Yeah, because it'll piss everyone off, right?
Yeah.
But you didn't even do that because what this is government pressure. They don't want a government going after them, telling them that something is bad and then causing a whole hoo-ha, right? It says, as a leading AI art generator, its decision to please a specific regime is a dangerous precedent. That's what I said.
Yes.
In comparison, another leading AI art tool, DALL-E 2, this one I used the other day, imposed a complete ban on all political content and all realistic faces to prevent abuse of the tool, which at least shows a more unified approach. And I agree with that. If you want to set a precedent so there's no political commentary, then you get rid of all of it.
Yeah, it's got to be one of the two.
I just threw this civics here on the side. This is not AI. This is the kind of stuff that they want to stop. You know what I mean?
That is not generated by AI. That's just a little bit of Photoshop there.
That is the last actual known picture of Mao. He actually is, in fact, the emperor of the empire.
He really is, isn't he?
That's kind of really looks perfect in that cloak.
Yes.
Doesn't he?
This is the kind of thing that they would not allow on this AI Midjourney thing.
Yeah.
We have to reach a point where companies need to realize that they cannot capitulate to China. This is stupid. You know, do you really want to deal with this incredibly insecure nation? You know, and when I'm talking about the governance here.
Yeah.
So insecure that you can't even poke fun at one of their leaders. Because if you can't poke fun at one of their leaders, means you can't poke fun at a lot of stuff.
Yes.
They're going to control you. They're going to censor you. They're going to shape you. They're going to change you to the way that they want. So anything that's political that China doesn't like, even if it's got nothing to do with China, if there's something that they really don't like at the moment, which could be anything, could be something in a different country, it could be a particular person who they really don't like, like a dissident or somebody, or the Dalai Lama or something like that, they can now force your AI company to start censoring those things too. Turn you into a piece of shit CCP rent boy is what they'll do.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's all you'll be at the end of the day, is a crappy company that had a lot of potential, but is now in service of the Chinese government, to the detriment of your users and to the detriment of the entire ecosystem that you grew in. The fact that you exist in the first place is because of the environment, the creative environment that you grew up in. And I'm not talking about the actual person. I'm talking about this incubator that allows, this tech incubator that allows this kind of creativeness is not something that is allowed in China. It's not something that can ever happen in China. It's something that happened in the West, and it happened because of freedom of expression and freedom of creativity.
Yeah.
And you're cutting that part out on behalf of the Chinese government. You are betraying yourself, and you are betraying everybody who's worked on making this a thing.
Yeah, it's way
Past
big.
and
It's
present.
a bigger deal than people might. If you had a cursory glance at this, like,
Yeah.
oh, whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, they're just being a bunch of wusses.
Yeah.
Right. No, it really does create a situation where, going forward, we avoid the uncomfortable topic of Chinese oppression, of Chinese state oppression.
Yeah.
And then that further allows no one to know about it, and for the Chinese government to get away with what they're doing.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that.
That's correct. Cool. So is that it for Wu Mao Corner then?
I believe so.
Okay,
Except
cool.
For worldview.
It is. So let's just jump right into it, shall we?
Yeah.
Worldview. We'll do a big Q&A, guys. Worldview, where we talk about what's new in the world, specifically with regards to China. And today we have, ta-da, some dude and a Spider-Man poster. Can you explain?
Yeah, I want to get his quote right. So
Okay, get his quote.
I'm going to pull it up. When people, you send someone something and then they say like lol, or
Yeah.
they say like ha ha ha. Actually, what's happening, because you want to picture them as like laughing, right? When
Sure.
you send them a picture, like say you send a picture of like a donkey kicking a dude. right?
Okay.
I don't know, like something that made you chuckle, right?
Right.
So you want to pass on that chuckle.
Right.
And then somebody replies like lol.
Yes.
Or they pass on, or they send back, they send haha. But actually what happened was a small exhale of air just exited their nose, and that was it. It was just like, you know what I mean?
Sure.
Like there was no audible haha.
Sure.
This gave me an audible lol. Like
Okay.
it wasn't just an exhale of air from
You
my
actually
nose.
laughed.
Yes. This, you know how Hollywood was capitulating to the Chinese government?
Yes.
And the reason they do that is because 34 films from abroad are allowed each year by the Chinese government. They have a quota.
Yes.
And they only pick films that are going to be good for the Chinese populace. The government dictates if something's allowed or what needs to be cut.
By the way, if you want to know what all the other films that are played in the cinemas are, it's revolutionary fantasies. Pretty much.
It really is.
Yeah.
Like the higher budget one.
Yes.
So anyway, back to this. If you have a small quota of films, like 34 films, right?
Yeah.
You are naturally going to start by censoring the parts that you don't want to be exposed to your citizens.
Yes.
And that's how it started. When we were first in China, you'd get movies that were just cut down.
Yes.
Kind of like watered down versions. And that's up to China.
Sure.
That's a domestic issue, which I disagree with. But it's a
South
domestic
Africa was the
issue.
same. When I was growing up, they used to censor films.
Yeah, during the apartheid government,
Yeah,
they
they
were
would-
super prude about stuff, right?
They would, certain films would be not allowed, like Lethal Weapon 2 or whatever.
Okay.
You couldn't watch it. But then other films would be censored because it was a very sort of Puritan government, very
Yeah,
Christian.
prude.
And they would cut like lewd things out and
Sure.
stuff like that and swear words and things.
So with China, what
Hmm.
they would do is they would start by doing that. You'd get rid of sex scenes. You'd get
And they got rid of
nudity.
anything that might make China look bad.
Or to make China look bad. But that's, like I said, that was a domestic issue.
Yeah.
How this transpired was eventually
They
to
just-
get into
Yeah.
the Chinese market, they would add scenes to make the Chinese government happy and then pre-censor
Yeah.
in America already, getting rid of the stuff that's going to
So the Chinese censored would no longer have to sit there and cut bits out
Yeah.
because Hollywood would do it for them.
Right. And I had an interview with Chris Fenton, as a big Hollywood exec that, had to deal with all this kind of stuff.
Sure.
And he explained all this stuff to me. But he also told me something very important as to why this kind of stopped. And there's a reason. There's a recent shift because Hollywood realized that when you release films that are not capitulating to China, when you don't add those extra scenes in, when you don't compromise your own values for the Chinese government, you make better movies.
Yes.
And when you make better movies, you sell more tickets. And when you sell more tickets, you make more money. It's just blatant capitalism that saved the day here because Americans chose, and people around the world chose to watch the movies more when they weren't capitulating so tastelessly to a foreign government, right? So you had an example like Spider-Man No Way Home, right? Where the demands had gotten so out of control from the Chinese government that they didn't want the Statue of Liberty, an icon of the U.S.
And never mind that Spider-Man, it's New York City.
He's in New York City. It's kind of where it takes place.
Yeah, that's where the Statue of Liberty is. You would expect it to make an appearance at least once.
They said, no, if you want this to come to China, you get rid of the Statue of Liberty, They gave them in the middle finger, and they only released it in the markets that would allow the Statue of Liberty.
All the markets that they used to release to before they started releasing in China, by the way, how they grew their companies and how Hollywood grew in the first. Hollywood grew without China's help.
Yes. And guess what? They were fine.
Yeah.
In fact, it was the highest grossing movie, I believe, of all time.
Yeah.
Right. In the box office.
Yes.
So didn't need to capitulate. And that was a huge Band-Aid that was ripped off. A lot of execs are very, very happy that they don't have to pander to the Chinese government anymore.
Chinese government should be pandering to Hollywood.
Right.
Okay?
Yes.
If they want good entertainment in China, if they want to sell more tickets and get more people to sit in the cinemas, they should be going to Hollywood and saying, well, we really want to get your movies. You know, we might censor them ourselves for our domestic market, but we want to get your movies. Not the other way around. Like, hey, you want to be a part of this huge corrupt system over here? Change your cinema tickets. And I'm telling you what, the Hollywood people get ripped off too when they sell movies to China.
Yeah,
because,
massively.
I'll give you one anecdote here. I've told this before, but maybe not on this show. I went to go and see the Transporter 3, I think it was. Okay. I believe it was the Transporter 3. I went to a cinema in Coco Park, which is a very well-known cinema. And Coco Park's like really high-end in Shenzhen. It's like in, the big CBD area, and it's like the place to hang out, Go there, go to the cinema. Me and my girlfriend at the time, 2 tickets to see the Transporter 3, please. They print out tickets for some other random movie, some Chinese movie, like another one of those like military war fantasy things, which they were showing at the same time, called like whatever, I Guo Jisheng, whatever the hell it was, okay? They had just crossed it out with a pen and wrote Transporter 3, and they gave me those tickets. And I was like, what's going on? I thought, maybe there's a problem with their system or, maybe they made a mistake. But later on, it turned out there was a lot of scams like this going on because the domestic numbers, the numbers for domestic films were so poor at the box office.
No one wants to watch that shit.
No one's going to go watch that war fantasy drama shit. You can see it on TV for free every day anyway. Yeah. That what they would do is when you bought a ticket for another movie is they would enter into their system that actually people bought tickets for this war fantasy drama, print it out for you, give you the tickets for the war fantasy drama, but just like change it to say that it's Transporter 3 or whatever. So the Hollywood people weren't getting the money from those tickets anyway for a lot of stuff. Like huge amounts of fraud in the system would have defrauded money from the Hollywood studios as well.
Right, and so there's a lot of wake-up call.
Yeah, so, and think about it though, those domestic-made movies, they obviously had a quota of how much they're supposed to get. Because it turns out they were also like selling tickets to like retirees. Because, retirees can get like free movie tickets and stuff in China. There is for like pensioners. They've got something along those lines. And certain like veterans and things get it. So they would sell them, but actually they didn't give them to anyone. They just said that all these pensioners came to see that movie, but no one did.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So they would bring, build up the quotas for the local movies and push the Hollywood ones aside. Anyway,
So to the current story.
Yes, sorry.
What made No, it's fine. This is good context for everyone. So what made me audibly laugh and not just expel small amounts of air through my nose? This is Sun Yeli, and he is the minister or the vice minister of the Communist Party Central Committee's publicity division. Okay?
Yes.
So he goes out there and he talks about the reaction to the Chinese government's reaction to public things,
right?
Movies, music, stuff like that, right? He says that he desires some more respect to be shown from Hollywood to China. Okay. And he says that he desires U.S. filmmakers to point out extra cultural respect in an uncommon public touch upon Hollywood's dwindling fortunes after the Asian nation shunned a sequence of American blockbusters. And here's a quote.
Okay.
We hope that the standard of American movies can proceed to be improved on the premise of respecting our tradition, customs, and viewers' behaviors, said Sun Yeli. We will import whichever nations that make higher quality movies and movies which are extra appropriate for the style of Chinese viewers.
Good luck. What are you going to import?
He said that he expects the standard of American movies,
Yes.
made in America for America,
Yeah.
to be produced on the premise of China.
That's correct. And that's what they like. It's capitulation.
I mean, it's a quote, though.
Yeah.
I died laughing when I was reading this. I was like, this is getting to the point where you drank your own Kool-Aid and there's none left, dude.
Yeah,
this
yeah,
is
sure.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
You poured two bags of Kool-Aid powder in there.
Sure.
Your whole lips are orange.
You drank it out. You took a piss back in that bottle. You're drinking that. You know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah.
ridiculous. And I mean, look at what happened with Top Gun 2.
Yeah.
It capitulated. They capitulated in the
Yeah.
beginning. They removed the Taiwanese flag. They removed the Japanese flag off of Maverick's jacket.
Yes.
Of course, it enraged all the fans because how dare you mess with like actual historical record like that?
Yes.
You know, but they were doing it.
This guy.
Yeah.
Wow.
Anyway, they luckily with the Maverick 2 thing is they reversed that decision.
Yeah.
Probably because they were getting too much shit from China anyway.
Yeah.
You know, and they would have had to probably rewrite the whole thing.
True.
So they were like, nah, we'll just go back to the... And it turned out to be like the best-selling movie ever or
Here
whatever.
we go again.
Yeah.
Right?
It's a lesson for Hollywood to learn is stop capitulating to China.
Stop capitulating to straight up piss drinker boy over here.
China, yeah.
Right.
Just stop it because if you make a good enough product, which you've been making for decades and decades, you know, look, Hollywood's been the leaders of film since whatever, the 30s and stuff like that, you know, the 20s, I don't even know. But if you keep making good stuff, you'll have a market. People will come to you. Don't capitulate to China. That's the worst place to capitulate to. It's full of censorship. Yep. It's incredibly insecure and sensitive and changeable all the time.
Yeah.
And they break their promises all the time, left, right, and center. It's the worst country to capitulate to. You know, they should capitulate to you.
Right.
Anyway, is that it in world news, or do we have something else? Imagine telling Hollywood to take the Statue of Liberty out of a Spider-Man movie. Yeah.
They did, though.
Okay, what's this?
This is the ambassador to the U.S. from China.
Okay.
Xinjiang is very well known in this whole field, but I loved the toned down response from the "we're gonna go to war with you, America. Don't you dare cross the line in Taiwan.
Yeah. Final red line.
Final red line. You're gonna die."
Yeah.
To this is now. I want you to read his response now.
Okay, he said, we noted that the U.S. military said they would have a military exercise or navigation again. I do call on American colleagues to exercise restraint, not to do anything to escalate the tension. If there's any more damage, if there's any more damaging China's territorial integrity and sovereignty, we will respond.
Can I say, Xinjiang, you're the ambassador to the U.S. from China. You should probably work on the spacing and the capitalization and the grammar here.
Sure.
And I'm not taking a slight at that. It's just that's probably your job.
Yeah.
Right. I would hope that the
At
ambassador...
least have a proofreader.
I would hope that the ambassador to China from the U.S. had better Chinese than me.
Absolutely.
I would hope
and
so.
proper Chinese
Right.
grammar and sensitivity.
For sure.
It is a big change anyway.
Yeah, it's very much less Wolf Warrior.
It's almost bordering on diplomatic.
Yeah,
almost.
Hey, we don't like this. But
Yeah.
it's just that's the official statements they're putting out now, which I thought was a huge tone shift, which is pretty funny.
Well, we've seen a huge tone shift. We've seen a lot of tourism stuff, pandas, that kind of thing.
Yes.
You know? What is this, by the way?
So this is for Yamcha.
Oh, it's for... Okay, we'll bring that back in Yamcha then. Okay.
Which is now.
It is, isn't it? It's time for Yamcha, guys. It's our Q&A section of the show. It's where we get to chill out, relax, have a good chat. I get to loosen my tie, which is always a nice thing after a long day's work here in the ADV office. And we get to answer your super chats. So how it works is if you're watching live, stick around with us and we'll have a little bit of a laugh. You can watch on the weekend. On Monday, we cut it out of the show, but don't worry. You can always rely on watching it if you're a patron. Speaking of patrons, let's just quickly put that up there. We have this little show. It's called Shaban Ho. I don't suppose you put the teaser in, did you?
That's what I was telling you to get.
Oh, have you put it on the thing?
It's on the desktop.
Okay. I'm going to play something for you now, guys, which is super important. We're going to show you a
How
little
about while
teaser.
you get it ready, actually leave... you won't be able to do that.
No,
you can do it easy, right?
Where is it? What's it called?
It's called Xiaoban Ho Clips. Just sort by
Yeah.
date,
Episode 7 clips?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
Give me some money.
Where is it?
Knock me down.
Pay me. That's kind of weird. Give me a second, guys. I got to figure this out.
I'll read
Technical
some
difficulty.
super chats.
Wait, this might work.
Knock me down.
There we go. Okay, it's gonna work.
So,
All right, guys.
can you introduce the patron thing again so they know where to get it?
No, we'll do it after.
Okay, sure.
Guys, this is a little clip from last week's Xiaobanhou. For those of you who are curious as to what we get up to, it's kind of like a little VIP club.
Me down, give me
some
money. You knocked me down,
Pay me. 哎呦，痛死我了！
我在北京
Wow, no shit.
China's not so bad if you think about our amendments and blah blah.
The thing is, it's fake.
Inject the tiger with narcotics.
It's orchestrated.
Ooh, that just sounds made up.
There's no compassion.
Liverpool. Who wants to be in a pool of liver?
Crimes against nature. So
Tacky, gross-looking thing. It's like a slur you call someone when you're drunk at the pub. Like that is the coolest name of a team I've ever heard.
yeah,
Crystal Palace.
It's like the biggest greenhouse ever.
Be in a dirty parking lot.
Okay, I won't kill you now.
It'll be on the side of a main road.
They can make sure you're not playing with yourself.
In piles of dirt.
Yeah.
Why would you play with yourself?
No, I'm just joking. It's
In piles of dirt. These are borderline shamata.
the striker from Crystal Palace is coming.
And he was pumped.
Photos.
Like right in your face.
Yeah.
No, he's not. And I'm like, yeah, he is.
Got caught out. We got caught out. And she looks really, really like death. My
quite
my
bad.
hands smell like death. Yeah, absolutely. It's a shamata. You can see.
We unexpectedly have shamata footage.
But you go and you have drinks and you relax and
Yeah,
whatever.
It was miserable.
It's
right.
just trucks. Chinese snacks are awful.
They're the worst.
Breakfast
Those
and
two
snacks
things.
are just
And
crap.
desserts.
Excellent. Well, guys, can't wait to see you next week. Okay, so yeah, that was Xiaobanhou. Every Monday, guys.
Yeah.
If you are part of the Xiaobanhou tier, it is a patron exclusive show. Please join us if you have the means to do so. We absolutely have a great amount of fun. It's a very small little VIP sort of a club.
Mm-hmm.
So
We chat with you guys, but it's also, we do a topic first and then we do a chat. And it's
Yeah.
usually about some unseen story that we have from China or really anything. Like, for example, this week's show coming up, we're going to do a bunch of Chinese snack taste tests.
yeah, it should
So
be
we've ordered a crap load of obscure and well-known Chinese snacks from China.
Yeah.
We got them from China. We're going to be eating the ones that we used to eat and
Mm-hmm.
then kind of ranking them, rating them. A lot of them are terrible and gross.
Yes.
So if you have the means, join our patreon.com/ADV podcasts
Sure.
at the Xiaobanhou tier, and we'd love to see you there.
Yeah, looking forward to it. Anyway, let's get on to the Q&A.
Yes. So, I want you to put up the thing.
What thing?
Remember the thing?
Oh, that
says
thing.
for Xiaobanhou?
Sure, I'll get the thing.
Because people probably need to sit on it for a little bit.
Okay, do you mind if I...
Actually, what?
Well, just before we put on the thing, there's one other thing I just wanted to see. What do we got here? There's one other little thing I wanted to play for us all over here. If I can find it. Yes, okay. Just before we do, I think there's one more thing I need to show everyone one more time here. I gotta say that whole like pin in the mouth
That's
thing.
amazing.
Yeah, because we'll have to show you that whole.
Yeah.
At some point, we'll actually show you that whole clip because it's so ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good.
It's just like a little whip. How plausible do you think that is, by the way?
That's 0% chance you'd have any sort of force behind that pin.
Yeah, I mean, it's literally just going to go.
It's
ding,
just gonna
ding,
plop
ding.
out of your lip. You probably cut
Especially-
yourself.
Yeah, she's like, she's
Yeah.
like,
It's
ding,
like
ding.
spitting a sunflower seed.
Yeah, even if you took a pin and you like threw it at
It
someone,
wouldn't do shit.
and the chances of it hitting my eye,
No.
and it wouldn't penetrate the eye,
No, it would just bounce off.
Yeah.
Like, ow, that kind of
Yeah.
hurt. Ow.
Yeah, it'd be like, oh, what's this little
Ow.
fly,
Ow.
Yeah. Anyway, just thought that was kind of funny.
Yeah, so put up that thingy.
That
thingy.
that little emoji thing that you had. Where is it? Why is it not there now? There it is. Okay, let me get us out of there or get us
So
in the
this
corner.
is
What is
from-
this?
This is from Forsaken Campaigns. This is on our subreddit.
Okay.
Reddit.com/r/ADVChina.
Right.
And he put up a puzzle. It's a riddle.
Right.
And if you can figure this out with emojis, then you're a true The China Show fan. I wanted to do it with you. I haven't looked at the key yet.
Okay.
I only looked at the first one, which was very easy to
Chinese
figure out.
ox.
Chinese ox, number one. I wanted to give everyone a couple of seconds to look at it, but
Okay.
what did you get for number 2? That one looks pretty
Deer
easy.
Wang.
Deer Wang, definitely. Deer Wang, a famous CCP beauty, as we call him.
Sure.
CCP beauty, I guess we call him.
Yeah.
Third one, that's my name, of course. Sea Milk.
Yeah, I actually didn't get that. It sounds like
okay.
a wave cup.
Gotcha. Number
Okay.
4 is quite easy.
Yeah, Serpent ZA.
ZA. If you guys didn't know, ZA is the country code for
South Africa, yeah.
So, 5, what is this?
I don't know. C nine nan. Well, like C May nan. What is that? Like okay, sheep. Sea sheep.
Oh, lamb. Probably clam man.
Oh, clam.
Clam
Oh,
man.
clam man. Got
like
it.
that.
Oh, let's do a little.
That's awesome. I
Yeah,
like that
clam
one.
man. What is this?
What is this next one? Number 6. It looks like
It's like an old man with a. I don't know, man. Like that one I don't get.
it's like a syringe. It's an old man, a syringe.
Doctor.
And what's the third one? I can't see that properly.
I can't see it either from here. It's just tough. The last character is like a weightlifter. So yeah, I'm gonna pass on that one. 6 I don't know.
Number
What about
6.
7?
Okay, number 7. On gear. Hot. Unger warm.
Yes, it's an
Unger
Unger
warm.
Yes.
Oh, that's a good one. That's good.
Yeah. Okay, and then we got
Boat, or probably row.
row, boat. I don't know.
Aurora.
All right,
Aurora.
Yeah. Okay, French kiss. What about
That's
this?
pretty good.
Yeah, it is T. I don't get what this one is. T hat blood.
That probably that, right?
Oh yeah, that.
Hats. That's blood.
Oh, that's
Something.
bloody outrageous.
That's bloody.
bloody outrageous.
It's got to be right.
Yeah, it's gotta be. That's bloody
Yeah.
outrageous. I guess outside. Out.
Yes.
So it's like an outside tent.
Outrage,
Yeah,
US.
yeah, yes.
It's bloody outrageous.
That's pretty good.
And then what's the last one there? It's like
Deutschland, Germany.
German kangaroo yin yang. I don't get the last one.
German kangaroo yin yang. I want to see if anyone gets. So we're missing 6 and 9.
Yeah. We'll have to see.
Hold on. Let's just leave it up. I'm gonna go through the chat. I'm sure the chat has figured it out.
Okay. Yeah.
It's a sloth ball sack. I don't see any ball sacks. Do you?
Bald, maybe bald.
Bald. Oh, bald.
I don't think so.
Who can tell? I'm looking at the chat now. Who can figure out 6 and the chat bonus round?
Yeah, challenge.
Who can figure it out?
Weird.
German, Austrian, something. 6 is ball sack. Everyone keeps saying 6 is ball sack.
Must be the ball sack. Gotta be ball sack.
I guess. Oh no, it's Old Doc Slothington.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, ton because
it's
it's
Old Doc Slothington.
It is. It's Old Doc Slothington.
Old Doc, yeah, friend of the channel.
That makes sense. Old Doc
So
Slothington.
the only one we can't get is the bonus challenge.
Yeah, the bonus challenge.
Which
No idea.
yin yang, like
Peace, maybe. It can also be peace. Yeah.
I don't know. I can't figure out the bonus. We'll come back to it though.
Yeah. All right.
Okay, cool.
Next question.
What do we got here? That was a nice little interactive thing. I like.
Yeah, that
whoever
was
put
fun.
that together. It's fun.
Yep.
Dude Bub says ZDF from Germany recently filmed a documentary about torturing Uyghurs in Xinjiang. Guess who I spotted in the background dancing?
Oh, I wonder who.
Do you think it was either German guy, the famous from the German Eyes,
Yes.
or was it the old man?
Oh,
Old
yeah.
Uyghur man.
Could have been the old Uyghur man.
Probably
It could have
old
been.
Uyghur man.
There's so many of those repeat characters.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, for sure.
Who's next?
I'm trying to see here. Oh, the last one is people are saying is GR like Germany,
Yeah. This one?
and then Ru like great. They're saying
It's
great.
not. It's not great.
Great.
Yeah, I
It's
mean,
not.
because I don't know what I guess it 8.
No, that's not
No,
eight.
it doesn't make any sense. No.
Nope.
Oh, it's What's the country?
What?
It just dawned on me. I didn't look.
Yeah.
No one said it yet. What's the country code of Germany?
I don't know. GR?
No.
GB?
It's .de.
Oh,
right?
DE.
And what's
Derucci.
yeah, Chi.
It's Chi, yes. Derucci. It's Derucci.
Derucci.
Yeah.
That's good. That's a good one.
Yeah, yeah.
That was a good
Deguo.
bonus round.
Yeah, Deguo,
Yeah,
Deutschland.
Deguo. Miserable Failure says, do you guys see the video of the fish getting tested for COVID in Xiamen?
Yeah, we've shared that kind of stuff before.
Like a million times. They've
Yeah,
been doing this for
it's
ages.
stupid. They test rocks and they test truck tires.
Yeah.
I mean, truck tires.
Truck tires.
The thing's been driving on a dirt road. And you're
Yes.
going to go test that truck tire.
Yes.
What's the point?
Yes.
So, yeah, they test everything. It's just a show. It's just to say, look how great we are. We're so thorough. We test everything.
Right.
It's dumb. You're not going to find COVID in a fish's mouth.
Uh,
They don't have lungs.
Yeah, I'm just going to throw this out there. Fish don't have respiratory
No.
systems. So,
Yeah, it's kind of dumb.
Yeah. It's Hampel says, I think China still hasn't lost that nervousness about its weaponry being similar to Soviet in origin. And after watching a similar invasion, they might be more nervous about Taiwan getting javelins.
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Jack Gray, glad to catch the show live again. When will Joe Rogan have you on the show? He's never going to do that. We were upvoted on like the show request forum thing so high, and I think someone said I don't do requests or something like that. So
Oh, weird. I don't know. I don't know enough about that.
yeah, remember back in the day,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know, when people tried to get us on there. Ava Ray, we know people that have been on the show personally.
Yeah.
Ava Rayher, do you think that the CCP might start a stronger crackdown on anime? Looking at Chinese games, it looks like Japanese cultural influence is very strong in China.
Yes.
Genshin Impact being a prime example. The CCP must hate this. No, I think they're commandeering it. I think
Yeah,
they can make it their own.
Yeah, what they're doing, and they're quite successful at doing this, is by taking something over and claiming that it is Chinese anyway.
Yeah.
Just like they did with the traditional Korean outfits, remember, during the Winter Olympics?
Yeah.
And Korea was pissed off. Like, people in Korea were like, that's not a Chinese outfit. That's our traditional Korean stuff.
Sure.
And they're like, no, it's been Chinese since ancient times. So, you know, they'll probably say anime's been Chinese since ancient times or something one of these days.
That's right.
Yeah.
Oh, someone said lungfish. And actually, I have a very strong affinity for oxygen breathing fish. 'Cause
Right.
I don't know if anyone knows, but I'm massively into aquariums.
Yes, you are.
So yes, but that's not a mammal. They are not mammals,
No.
so they will not have COVID.
Sure.
Remember dead seafood air?
Yes, dead seafood air, man.
Abraham Elvira says, "Sorry, but that robot is cute AF." Lamau, yeah, it is.
Yeah.
The
The
RPG
robot dog,
robot.
yeah, yeah.
Koala 1203, greetings from my current mission aboard the Aurora.
Oh, excellent.
He's currently doing a special reconnaissance mission over the port of
Dandong.
Dandong.
Shipping hub, south.
Still didn't make his own, boy.
No, yeah, I've been so lazy. I was putting together that stupid resistance fantasy, whatever it is.
I gotcha.
You
No,
know?
we just gotta remember that. It's
Yeah,
both of
yeah,
our
yeah,
responsibility.
yeah.
Ultra Pine March. Good morning from Japan.
Hey, morning.
Here's 10,
Ohayo gozaimasu.
here's $10 from an apology from my random World War Z zombie China rant last week. Maybe suffering from my own case of projection.
Oh, a little bit of...
Life imitating art and all that. No worries.
No
my friend.
worries, man.
Xiang says, good morning from Singapore. Techie Rachel Miss Wow is actually really hot. Just an FYI. Hey, it's if that's your thing. that's your
Dude,
thing.
yeah, look, one thing you've got to watch out for is that her, like many other presenters and Chinese, you know, state presenters, use face filters. So she actually doesn't look like that.
Even maybe without it, it's his type.
Maybe. I'm just saying, don't be fooled.
Don't be fooled.
Try to see a candid picture and then make up your mind.
Good company, that.
Yeah, it is.
Walter Deadman, they made a toy dog with an airsoft rifle mount. Sweet. Where can I get a few?
Yeah, man.
Russell Thander says, despite having serious border dispute with and hatred, Russia has assured China with military help for Taiwan's invasion. How strong do you think that alliance is?
It's strong enough that when it's convenient.
Yeah. Joshua King, Ghost City, meet Ghost Bridge.
Yeah.
Well said. Jonathan Case, I showed my Chinese wife video from China, from my wife's old video of you eating Muslim food at the mall. She said that wasn't real Muslim food because it shouldn't be oily. That's
What?
makes no sense at all. It was made by Uyghurs
Yes.
at a Uyghur restaurant, and we've been to Uyghur restaurants only for Uyghurs. And
What
the
about-
food is very oily.
How about like Lanzhou food?
It's oily.
Muslim too.
It's oily.
It's super
Have you ever
oily.
had Central Asian food? It's oily.
Yep.
Have you had Middle Eastern food? It's oily.
I mean, look, that's a problem that you find in China. Not to slight your wife or anything, but
Yeah.
it's very compartmentalized, and people have a very set idea of the world without actually understanding it in China.
That's just such a wrong assumption.
To say that Muslim food's not oily,
What? I mean, first of all, what is Muslim food?
That's-
Did
that's
the food
it.
go to mosque?
yeah.
What? Anyway.
Yeah, it's just-
I
it
understand.
is
That's
very
what it is called
compartmentalized,
in China, they always
Yeah.
say that.
That's why you can always catch out scammers is when they're trying to tell you about like I caught out that one scammer who was pretending to be Korean.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh yeah, I love Korea. And she's like, yes, Korean food is very nice. Korean barbecue. And that's what everybody in China thinks Korean people only eat that because it's the
Yes.
most popular thing.
Yeah. Quite
You know?
literally, everyone is corroborating that Middle Eastern food is incredibly oily.
It's oily.
And Central Asian food and Western Chinese food.
Yeah. Anyway, maybe your wife just doesn't have a lot of experience with different kinds of Muslim food, and she's only ever had one type of Muslim food, which was like a dry naan bread or something.
Islamic country food. Yeah.
Yeah.
for sure.
By the way, naan bread's freaking awesome.
It is.
I used to buy the crap out of that from those Lanzhou or, Uyghur restaurants or whatever, wherever they, Muslim restaurants. They'd have the little
You know
halal
what?
thing. What?
It's oily.
Naan bread's not oily.
It is. You get
No, just
good
a dry one.
Oh, you got the dry one. I like those. Those
Remember,
fried
like, we
ones
used
with
to make pizzas out of that because you can't
Oh,
get
yeah,
pizza bases.
yeah,
You know
yeah,
that?
for
I'm talking
sure.
about the big one.
For sure.
It's super nice.
You
It's
know
got little
what?
pinholes in it everywhere.
Like, yeah, those are good. I know what you're talking about now.
Yeah.
You get the fried ones too. You've had those,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
for
With
sure.
the cheese in it.
Yeah, that's nice.
It's oily.
Yeah, it's
and
oily.
also the what's it called? You get the lamb kebabs,
Yes.
right? It's oily.
It's oily, yes.
What about the noodles? They're oily.
They're oily,
Yeah.
yeah.
Anyway,
Ask her about Lanzhou Lamian, because that always comes in like a little oily broth.
yeah,
So ask her about Lanzhou Lamian, because Lanzhou Lamian's Muslim.
yeah. Also the what's it called? Da Panji.
Yes, Dapanji's oily as
like,
fuck.
it's the fucking
It's like you could like create the Exxon
could run a
Valdez
car.
oil spill
Yeah.
if you just turn that plate over in the sea, man.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
Anyway, let's carry on.
crap. I love Western Chinese food.
Yeah.
I shouldn't say Western. I just love Uyghur food.
Yeah.
The random guy, Flo, thank you very much. The random guy, FYI, wigs are haram in Islam, and since they have the same prophets as in Judaism, except Jesus and Muhammad, I'd say it's not. It is haram, not kosher for Jewish people as well. Maybe an alternative to veil.
What do you mean? Like, I know a lot of very Orthodox Jewish people wear wigs. The women have to. They're not allowed to show
Yeah.
other men their real hair. I know in South Africa, I did some IT work for.
Oh, for sure, Hasidic Jews.
Yeah, Hasidic Jews. They're like not allowed. You're not allowed to see their hair, so they have to wear wigs.
Yeah.
Which is kind of bizarre, but whatever.
Yeah.
Different religions.
Right, Strip Matter. What's your favorite memory of China? For a good mood. I can't pinpoint things, but I miss stuff all the time. Oh, I was thinking about one. I was reminiscing the other day.
So
it was actually that music that I put in the intro
Yeah.
of that thing. Yeah, what is her name again? Yue Guo or something. Yue Guo is the singer, right?
Mm-hmm.
And she's one of my favorite traditional singers. She's mainland,
Okay.
which is rare for me to like mainland music.
This.
She's got a beautiful voice. My
Right.
point is that I do have memories of driving around in the countryside with my father-in-law, and we popped on the CD, and it was a really nice day, and the sun was going down and stuff, and we were going to these little fishing villages around Guangdong. It's just a nice memory I had.
Yeah, and then he got shattered by this guy.
Yeah, then he called me a dog shit little Jap. Not my father-in-law. This guy.
Yeah, he came out
up
of nowhere. Yeah.
ripped me out of the car, called me a dog shit little Japanese ghost, and
Yeah.
the whole mood is spoiled.
It was completely spoiled.
Sucks.
Yeah, favorite memories for me is always surrounding people.
For sure.
And it's sort of random acts of hospitality and kindness and things like that.
That's what I'm talking about. We were going to these little villages, and they were always super nice. And he was helping translate a little bit because he could speak like the local Hakka dialect and stuff. And then he would tell me in Mandarin what was saying, and we were just having a great bonding experience. And that music brought that memory back. I just thought that was a nice one. Joseph Kim, I heard that Chinese use vernacular characters throughout China. I wonder, do you see these throughout China, and how extensive is it? You're saying like, yeah, like just certain characters phonetically will be used for different dialects around China for sure. I used to see that up in Inner Mongolia.
Yeah.
I'm not super well versed in that. Like the nuances of dialect characters, I probably would recognize when I was there, not so much anymore.
Sure.
Ness Audi, Matt, check out the comment in last week's show for the full story from Super Chat last week. Oh, I will. I'm assuming you mean in the patron post, right? Testy. That sounds like testicle. Testes.
Yeah.
Random username. Where do they find the time to show war dramas? It's got to compete with important footage from Port of Dandong. We need to make a sound.
No, we will.
Let me write it down for
Please.
show notes for 123.
Where it's got like an eagle screen, but it shows ducks or whatever.
Yeah, Port of Dandong.
Yeah.
Sound bite.
Yeah, it has to be done.
Yeah, it will be done.
It will be done. Thy will be
That
done.
will be done. On earth as it is in heaven.
Exactly. And then you could have some daily bread.
You could have some daily non-bread, which is
better forgive some trespassers at the same
for sure.
time.
For just we forget.
Yeah. Anyway, let's carry on.
Except
For this guy. This guy turns up, you kick him off your property, okay?
Can we get that as a sound bite?
I'm sure we can. This
writing
really
that
annoying
down.
guy. Dog shit, little Japanese ghost. Yeah.
That's going in the sound bite.
Yeah, it's got to be.
Anytime there's like slander against Japan, that's coming up.
Yeah,
Or
seriously.
actually, anytime there's slander against anyone, that's what comes up. That can surpass nationality.
Sure, and just remember, okay, you better wait until nightfall because Grandpa's gonna come. You better watch out. Grandpa's gonna come find you.
We laughed at that more than the chat did. I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah, dude.
Grandpa's gonna come find you. Imagine you're surrounded by doesn't matter what nationality.
Yeah,
Imagine
soldiers.
I'm surrounded by 30 Russian soldiers, right?
Yeah.
Sworn enemy of America, right? I'm
Yeah.
on my knees and I got handcuffs on. They're about to shoot me, and I go, my grandpa's gonna come devour you. You better watch out. My grandpa's coming. Can you imagine that?
Yeah.
I feel like the writers didn't put themselves in that context.
Yeah.
No one would ever say that.
No. Yeah, better be careful. Grandpa's gonna come find you. Oh man. Anyway, yeah.
I wouldn't mind if you played that one part.
Oh, I guess we can. We'll play that quickly.
You got to play this part first.
Yeah, I'll get it back. You gotta get that. We'll start.
Do the
start
intro.
from the intro. Okay, here we go. One more time. Just a lot in these war drama things, by the way, these war fantasies, is the Japanese soldiers always really have to identify as Japanese.
Yeah.
They have the
Imperial Japan.
Yeah, they would have had that flag.
You know what?
It's probably banned.
Probably banned.
They're probably not allowed to show that.
She's looking great for 70.
She's like 30 something.
Yeah.
maybe
70
40.
is grandma.
Yeah.
Right.
She's maybe 36.
Sure. Yeah. Anyway, shall we continue?
Yeah, let's continue. Sorry. Getting sidetracked here.
My Case Closed 93 said my friend had to listen to war fantasies while getting dental surgery in China. I mean, that's actually a guarantee. You know where these used to play all the time?
Yeah.
Shamate would be watching them when I cut my hair.
Yeah.
And it's not because they love them. It's because it's the only thing on TV.
Yeah. I've got footage, and I'm going to, next week, in the intro to it, I'll show you the footage I've taken. I got this great scene where an old uncle is watching one of those things on one of those Lauren G's, you know?
Yeah.
It's like a red
one,
little red TV that you buy every...
Is it a color one or a black and white one?
It's color.
Oh, okay.
It's like real low tech that they sell
I know.
for old people in
Looks
China.
like an Etch-a-Sketch.
Yeah. That type of thing. And he's watching it on the street. And I was just filming this because I thought this is good from behind. And as the tank commander or whatever shoots some Japanese, he's like, yeah.
He's he's actually super excited.
He's like, yeah.
We'll put him in the next clip.
Definitely.
the
Yeah,
next,
definitely. Yeah, it's so funny.
Revolutionary Fantasy.
Yeah, we'll do it.
Episode 2.
Yep, episode 2.
Possible person. Fades looking snatched. Shirts tailored. Our two handsome hosts bringing the facts tonight without a single lamb fetus in sight.
Yes, correct.
You
No
better
lamb fetus
believe it.
today.
No lamb fetus because we've already finished it.
Yeah.
Hit our
It's
pot.
horrendous.
Yeah. Marit Strip Matter. Chinese Enya actually sounds good though. Chinese Enya.
Enya,
No,
yeah.
her voice is beautiful. And actually, I like her songs. They're not Gongchandang songs.
Yeah.
She's actually a lot younger than I thought. She's born 1983.
That's younger than me.
I thought she was one of those like old singers.
Sounds like it.
Yeah, she's about
Sounds
our
like
age.
what grandma would listen to me.
Yeah, but it's soothing.
Right.
Wing 083. If like for example, that's a religious Buddhist song,
Right.
which is rare for a mainlander to do that kind of
Sure.
stuff. You know.
Listen to it on the wireless. Pull out the old record player, gramophone. Listen to
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Grandma Goo comes out.
Yeah. Grandma Goose coming. Yeah. Grandma Goose coming to town.
Yeah, Wings. You better watch out though, because Grandpa. When
Yeah,
he
he's gonna,
comes,
don't want him to come find me at night. Grandpa,
we
he'll
need to-
devour us.
we need to.
Wait,
have
what?
Grandpa.
That just sounds so bad.
That
Yeah,
sounds
he's-
out of context.
Yes.
Even in context.
Yeah, it's bad, man.
Grandpa's gonna.
It's like a silang, He's gonna.
Silang.
He is. The
In
freaking.
Chinese is silang. Sorry,
Yeah.
our Chinglish is coming out.
Yes.
Silang is
Yeah.
a color wolf. How would you
Yes.
explain a color wolf?
It's a pervert, basically.
Yeah, he's like
But
hanging in
he's
the
a
bushes.
he's a
like-
colorful wolf.
Yeah.
They also have a Gui, which is the same thing, which is a colorful ghost,
Yeah.
which basically just means a pervert.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like
Yeah.
a pervert, like a creepo.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Grandpa's a real silang. He's a color wolf.
Yeah, he comes and devours all the men at night,
You know what would be great, like long-term merch? By the way, update for Anchor Warm merch.
Yeah.
I'm currently dealing with the company right now.
Oh, good.
We're dealing with trying to manipulate the picture slightly to get it to work on a black T-shirt. Because we know that's more popular.
Yeah.
So that people can have a choice between black and white.
Mm-hmm.
Permanent merch, artistic representation of a color wolf
Yes.
would be fantastic.
Yeah, make a note.
silang.
Make a note.
That would be because Chinese people would die laughing if they saw silang, the
Yeah.
characters. It'd be like a color wolf.
Yeah, colorful wolf. Yeah, that'd be something funny to wear.
Yeah, I think that's a good merch.
Something a T-shirt that I made years ago. I still wear it all the time. Like I made a bunch. Is that Lao Niu Chen Cao T-shirt, which means old cows eat tender grass,
Yes.
which is a very well-known saying in China, which basically means like old men prefer young women,
Yeah.
like young girls.
Super creepy.
Yeah, it's kind of creepy, but it's not creepy in China.
No.
It's a normal thing to say. And so
Yeah,
like
yeah.
even when I
Yeah.
wear it here in the States, I've had lots of people like Chinese
It's
people and
funny,
Taiwanese people like have a laugh and like
Yeah.
talk to me about it. And like, you know what that means, right?
it's funny.
That type of thing. Super fun.
I'm looking at my show notes here. And it, out of context, if someone were to see this, it says Port of Dandong, dog shit little Japanese ghost color wolf.
Yes, nice. I actually made one of those T-shirts I made is like Woshida Silang.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm
one of my
talking about
t-shirts.
it should be like a traditional Chinese like representation of a silang.
Yes.
Like an old, those old Chinese paintings that I like? Where
Yeah.
it's like a bow and it's like mountains and stuff. It should look like that.
Okay,
I think
sounds
it would
good.
look really
Yeah.
cool. But it's a silang. Color wolf versus, David Lopan says, color wolf versus salt pork hand.
Yes.
Ham ju sao.
Yeah, exactly.
Ham ju sao is a Cantonese one.
Yeah.
Xian ju shou in
Yeah.
Mandarin. Ham ju sao means like a salty pig hand.
pork hand.
Because
It's doing salty things,
yeah, jusho is a
Yeah.
dish in China. Actually,
Yeah.
I like it. And it's in Germany as well.
Yeah.
Pig's feet, right?
Yeah.
And the Cantonese version is if you have a salted one, a salty pig hand is
Yeah.
what you call it. It's a slur.
Yeah,
It's what you call
salty
it.
pig hand
man
is a
that's-
pervert.
And it's not a pervert. It's someone that touches people.
Yeah, yeah.
Xianzhusho, yeah.
Yeah, well, that's a pervert.
Well, yeah, it's a specific thing though. It's a guy that touches.
Yeah, like
I'd say a color wolf is
groper,
more
you
like
know?
he's like peeking behind a bush. He's going like, "Ow," like you know what I mean, that
Right.
kind of stuff.
It's all kind of the same.
A groper is Xianzhushan. Those
Yeah.
are very different beings.
Yeah, sure.
These could be a mythical beast too. A salt
Yeah.
pig hand.
Yeah.
He's touching women on the bus. Like for example, I remember my wife got groped on the bus. It was horrible in China.
Yeah.
And she came home and told me that Ham Jusao touched her, and I
Yeah.
was so freaking mad.
Yeah.
She made a public thing about it and embarrassed the shit out of him. Most people didn't even say anything.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Salty pork hands. Got to watch out for them.
salt pig hand. Yeah.
Yeah. I like to call it a pork hand.
I know it makes more sense, but salt
just
pig hand actually
Touching you
just
with
sounds,
pork. Yeah, yeah.
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 the salt pork hand.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Great helmsman.
Yes.
Definitely, for
Mm-hmm.
sure. If they Wing 083 says if they made them to be satirical and treated it like a Bollywood movie, it could work. But the fact that they want it to be taken seriously, is so bad.
Yes,
That's a good
yes.
point. These revolutionary,
Yeah, the
fantasies.
revolutionary fantasies, they're dead serious. They're deadpan, like, oh, we're struggling so much, and we're so like 吃苦 and
Yeah,
all
like
that kind
we-
of
oh,
crap.
we've suffered.
How 辛苦
Yeah.
It's like, look at us, little ragtag bunch of prisoners now are going to beat all the Japanese. There's that one
That's the issue.
where 3 prisoners kill 300 Japanese
Yes.
guards in a prison to escape.
Yeah.
That kind of crap.
That's our issue.
Yes.
Walter Deadman, make a clip of that laugh. That could also be, when shows have like, because we need to add stuff, right?
Yeah. We got tons. Don't worry.
No, but the laughing guy, imagine that as like like instead of a lull or a funny moment, like a laugh track. It's
We
like,
we have unlimited, infinity amount of this kind of stuff.
Yes.
That was one little
was
clip.
one.
Don't you worry, more is
Yeah.
coming. There'll be better stuff.
There will be. But that's good too.
Yeah.
Jeffrey Holmes. So I donated to Winston's beer last week, and this one's for Matt. Thank you. No dragoning explanation needed. Cringe Chinese war shows. Yes, I think you mean revolutionary fantasies.
Yeah, revolutionary fantasies. They are just fantasies, remember? None of this stuff ever took place. There was never a situation ever where like one Chinese peasant killed a platoon of Japanese people with a rock or whatever. Or
Yeah.
I saw one dumb one with this woman who used a bow and arrow and she like shot, but it split into like multiple bow and arrows, like multiple arrows or whatever, and shot like 10 Japanese people at one time. Heavily armed Japanese troops.
Every time.
Anyway, yeah.
Chinese ox. Ooh, don't want to see that.
Yeah. what's
Sorry,
he
I've been
saying?
quiet lately. Just finalized my divorce with Sina. She wasn't a who, she was a hoe.
Yeah. Oh, well, what are you going to do? What are you going to do?
Not my words. Chinese ox is a crass piece of shit.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do. This show, I need to put like in the subtext, does not endorse Chinese ox.
Yeah, I kind of do, though.
he's-
That was funny.
But he says women, eh?
Yeah.
I want to hang out with cool dudes like you. Tell me where you live and I'll come over.
That's all right.
Stop
Yeah.
trying to find us.
Yeah, we will
Chinese
hide.
ox, you
We will hide.
freaking psycho, crazy beast of a man.
Yep.
But love having him as commentary, but geez, he scares the shit out of me.
Oh, yeah.
And probably, let's not call, we don't know if anyone's a who or a hoe on these parts. We don't know
Well, he does. He married her.
in Minecraft,
Yeah.
apparently.
Yeah.
Samuel Boyd, my Japanese wife has recently become a fan of yours,
Oh, sweet.
and we wanted to show our support.
Thank you very much.
She also wanted to know about your opinion about whether Japan should change their pacifist constitution in regards to Chinese aggression. I'd say both of us are anti-war in general, but
Yeah.
is for self-defense. Geez, I mean, what do you do in that situation?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
What do you do? China's being incredibly aggressive in
Yeah.
the region. So,
Being anti-war is one thing, but China's not anti-war.
no,
They're
that's the
pro-war.
problem. That's the problem.
So you need to meet them on an even playing field. And
That's-
I think
that's what I would
I think
say.
it's time to dust off the old, war machine over there, at least from a defensive point of view.
I agree.
Yeah.
Tyler Durden 33333.
Don't repeat what you did.
You got one chance before. Let's not
let's
repeat
not do
history.
that again,
Let's
okay?
do things sanely.
Let's be the good Japan that we
Yeah.
love.
Yes, the democratic Japan
Yes.
that we love. Not
Let's not
fascist
Hirohito
Japan.
this stuff again.
Let's
Please
get away from old
Please
fascist,
let's don't do that.
fashy days.
Yes, let's move forward and
Yes.
for world peace,
Yeah.
but with a big stick.
But with a big stick. As always, love your work and please keep it up. P.S.
Absolute
Matt,
pleasure.
I'm glad you're not wearing those glasses. They look like grandmother glasses. Well,
You can listen to that music on a gramophone and wear his glasses at the same
I
time.
could, or if you keep slandering me like this, I'll call my grandpa.
I better watch out. I don't want someone coming in the night to devour me. Some old man. No, thank you very much.
It really is. It's gone sexual.
Yeah,
at
it's
this
disgusting.
point. This
enough.
grandpa
Yeah.
needs to be put back on his leash. This wolf.
Yeah,
He is
totally.
going around in villages and he is devouring men.
One
That's
by
what
one.
he's- One by one.
Yeah.
Holy crap. He's out of
must-
control.
Yeah, he must be very bored in his pensioner days now.
You know what? Thinking back is dumb, and we're like, haha, it's so funny and stuff. If I was one of those Japanese soldiers,
Yeah.
I would be shaking in my boots if
Yeah,
I
yeah.
actually knew about this grandpa
Yeah,
because he's
it's
devouring
coming.
men in the night.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's scary. Where are we here? I had the misfortune of watching a few episodes of a Chinese TV show, Mala Bing Xiji. What is that? Mala Bing Xingji. Bian Xingji.
What, spicy transformer?
Xingji. Yeah, that'd be like a spicy transformer. Oh, but it's like a numbing spice transformer.
Okay.
Mala. Oh, I'll teach you about something actually.
Yeah, sure.
La means spice.
Yeah.
Or spicy. It's
Spicy.
how la. That means
Yeah.
it's very spicy. But there's different kinds. There's suan la.
Yeah.
Suan la is
Sour,
sour
hot.
spice, so it's with vinegar.
Yeah.
So you have chili sauce made of vinegar, that's suan la. You have xian la, which is a salty spice. It's kind of like when a chili sauce has a lot of salt in it. Then you have ma la.
Yeah.
Ma la is that Sichuan numbing peppercorn that just numbs the crap out of your
It's
mouth.
numbing and hot at the same
Yeah, it's
time.
numbing and hot. So this show is called
Spicy
Numbing Spice Transformer.
What is that?
And I'm Googling it now. It's in English, it's called Hot Girl.
Okay.
Oh, it looks like a ripoff of a Korean drama.
Okay.
Wow, it looks bad though, guys. It looks pretty bad quality.
Stop advertising it then.
No, but I want to see what he says. I wanted to ask you guys about their TV shows. Aishu Revolutionary Fantasies. That's good. This is what I've seen. I tried to watch a Chinese show, a drama the other day, because I like Korean shows, right?
Yeah.
And I want to watch. I don't speak Korean, so I would love to watch some Chinese shows because I speak Chinese. It would be a much more enjoyable experience for me if I don't have to read subtitles all the time and just watch a Chinese show. Yeah. And I've watched a couple when I was in China. I used to watch some of those dating shows like Fei Cheng Wu Rao. I used to watch
game shows.
Yeah, and a couple like here and there. If my wife's watching some dramas or whatever, I'd watch them on like work break.
I know you love that Baba Chunar. For some reason, that was always on in your house.
I hate that show so much. My wife used to like that.
La ba, woman chunalia. You love that shit.
I hated
I
that
just heard
show.
that all the time.
Because
in
my
your
wife
house.
was watching it.
All right.
Your wife watched that shit too.
I banned that in the house.
You did not. I used to visit you and she'd watch it.
Maybe I just turned it out.
You
Tuned
tuned
it out. Yeah.
Anyway, without pointing fingers,
I just
here,
somehow,
before I call
like-
my grandpa.
No, like every time I think of like Baba Chunar, I just think about you and your apartment, like, and that always being
that
on.
wasn't me. We
I've
walk
associated it with you now.
Right, but I didn't preemptively turn it on when we were outside
I feel
walking
like-
into my house.
I feel like when we were on a motorcycle road trip, I saw you watching it on your laptop, and I'm not even joking about that. I feel
such bullshit.
no, I really do think you were.
I'll tell you why.
Why?
Do you know
Why?
why? There was one instance where that is, and you're so drunk you've selectively forgotten why.
Okay.
We were editing a video
Yeah.
about Chinese TV shows, and I literally was putting the clips into that.
That's probably it.
Yeah.
That's probably it.
I
Okay.
hated that show.
Okay, all right.
I freely admit I watched some pretty, like, really bad Chinese dramas, but I hated Baba Chunar.
Yeah.
Anyway, you guys have no idea what we're talking
Yeah.
about. My point was
Yeah.
I would love to watch some Chinese shows, so I tried to watch one on Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
And they're trying to be like Korean dramas, but they're too safe and they cut out so much stuff that should be in there.
Mm-hmm.
And they're just very, very, very poor representations. And they still have not caught up in the slightest.
Chinese TV shows are
suck.
terrible.
They suck.
They're the worst. They really are. Just
They are the
awful.
worst.
They're the worst. I don't know if there's a worse representation of a TV show from any other country.
From, let's say, a major country, because we went to Vietnam, and that was pretty
Those
amazing.
Taiwanese puppets, by the way,
No,
remember those
those
as
are
well?
kind of cool.
Yeah, they're kind of cool.
Remember the Vietnamese mainstream TV shows?
yeah.
Those were bad.
Those are bad.
But again, I'm saying major, like, superpower
Yeah, no,
countries.
honestly, having lived there for so long, we tried. Okay,
we
you have to
tried.
understand. We lived in the country. We learned the language, and a big part of learning a language is because you're usually interested in the culture and the
culture, yeah.
media. That's why people are very keen on learning English, for instance, because there's so many good movies and music and stuff, and you want to be involved in that.
It's also easier because there's so much material.
Yeah, same with Japanese. There's so many interesting Japanese, music and movies and culture, pop culture that comes out of Japan. Yeah. It's a language you want to learn so that you can try to understand that
Yes.
stuff more.
Yes.
And that's the one part that was severely lacking for me in studying
Yeah.
Chinese.
Pop
Is there
culture.
was no Chinese TV show or movie that I really wanted to watch.
Right. And as I said, in all my years, there was a handful of shows I watched religiously compared to maybe 20 shows
Yeah.
I'd watch back home.
One thing I did notice is that Taiwanese songs are great. Okay, they're in Mandarin.
Yes.
So that was a big
Yeah,
draw.
Taiwanese music's great. I love some Taiwanese
And
bands.
some Taiwanese TV shows are a bit wishy-washy for me.
Yeah,
And
not
the
a
Taiwanese movies are a bit.
They're... I would go...
I'll never forget that one about that dog, and we talked about that
Yeah.
before. I'm like, the dog gets cancer or whatever. And
I'll
I'm
tell
like,
you what,
oh,
though.
I'm not gonna.
I'll tell you what.
Actually, Taiwanese TV shows kind of suck too.
Okay, now listen to me, though.
Okay,
Hear me
yeah,
out.
yeah.
Taiwanese stuff out of Taiwan context kind of sucks.
Sure.
Not stuff, I should say, media, right?
Yeah.
Much better than mainland China.
Oh, way
by the way.
better. Way better.
But when I was living in Taiwan, I would go to the movie theater. By the way, it's very cheap.
yeah.
And I would sit down and watch a Taiwanese movie. I would, because it felt like I was part of the local culture.
Yes.
I would go with my friends.
Yeah.
It would be interesting. The direction was unique.
Yeah.
It was definitely special. It wasn't like cookie cutter.
Yeah.
It was sappy. It was slow, drawn out, a lot of these movies. However, I was...
Or arty. It's very
arty.
arty, yeah.
But I was there, and I felt like I was part of something.
Sure.
When I was living in China, I wouldn't go watch Chinese movies in the movie theater
What are you
because
gonna
they
see?
suck. I won't say Taiwanese stuff sucks. Chinese stuff sucks.
Yeah.
Chinese movies suck.
Yeah,
They're
and they're
really
boring.
bad. Yeah.
That's the problem. They're boring.
Yeah.
And they're very limited in their scope. It's either the Sangguo nonsense,
Yeah.
Red Cliff thing.
I'm tired of it.
It's like...
and Chinese
enough.
people are tired of it too.
Yeah, or it's like, let's kill some Japanese or
Yeah,
whatever.
enough.
It's like, come on, like there's 3 different topics you guys choose from, and that's it. It's boring.
Right.
But so, yeah, that was a long answer to say that
Yes.
you're not going to find anything good, not yet anyway.
And I'm dying to find good new Chinese media.
But
and I would love to watch it.
If
So
you're
you have
looking,
recommendations.
if you're looking for Mandarin content, look at Taiwanese stuff because
Yeah,
they do
yeah, for
have
sure.
some good
Oh yeah,
stuff.
it's
you know?
good stuff.
You could
It's
get
good quality.
it's good quality. It's because they're open to the West. That's why
Yeah.
their music was so much better, than mainland Chinese music. Is because they were allowed to be creative. You know.
Sure. Anyway,
Yeah.
let's move
Continue.
on. Nice haircut, guys. Thank you very much.
Appreciate it. Thanks.
Jawas says, the cosplayer has very good taste. She was cosplaying as Ushio Kofune from Summertime Rendering. A very good show. Definitely recommend it.
Haven't seen that.
Yeah, I'm way behind. Like, I used to watch a little bit of anime, but I'm so behind. I don't know anything new.
Yeah, I'm old school.
Yeah. Bit Majo,
Mm-hmm.
a YouTuber Leonard made a video about robot dogs. Basically, MIT and Stanford both designed the robot dog, shared its design, and China quickly copied it and claimed that they designed their own robot dog.
Of course. What a surprise. Yeah.
What a shame, too.
Yeah.
Wing083, did she actually get herself booked and charged for this?
Yeah,
or did
she was
get
arrested.
Did she get out more or less because of the backlash and loss of face? No. She was arrested, but then she made a public apology.
She had to. Very often, what happens is if you're arrested in China, they take you down to the police station and you have to he cha, which means drink tea.
Yeah.
And then you have to negotiate some way out of it because they don't want to have to go all the way down to like formally charging you and putting you in jail or something. So usually, what they do is get you to sign some kind of confession.
Yeah.
Like they did with Dr. Li Wenliang when he told people that, hey, there's a new SARS-like virus out there. They took him down, made him do the fingerprint. You have to get your thumbprint on it and you have to sign it and say, I'm not going to do it again, and release like a public apology. And then they let it go. They drop it after that. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Hauntus Farmer, thank you very much. She says, she's an African-American woman. She says, like that dancer, many black people admire China and Asian culture in general as counterexamples to white supremacy. Sadly, racism is everywhere.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I'm a little bit of an expert when it comes to these kind of things, having grown up in South Africa. And so I've seen real racism with my own eyes, like actual, like the worst type of racism on all sides of the spectrum. And so when I see that kind of thing happening, I just hate it when people make excuses for what is actually just raw, out there, unfiltered racism. And you can't always point a finger at the USA or somewhere else to try and excuse the actions of somebody, a completely different place, a completely different culture. You know what I mean? You can't be like looking at this person here on the other side of the world who grew up in a completely different culture, in a completely different circumstances, doing something bad, which is not tied to America, and it cannot be tied to America. It's in a different language and a different culture, doing something very bad. Looking at that and saying, well, America, you can't do that.
Right.
You have to say, look, this person's doing something bad. And it ends there. It doesn't get this whataboutism shit. This person's doing something bad. It's unacceptable. Why can't that just be a thing?
Right.
Why do people have to say, oh, look, this person's doing something bad, but guess what? Yeah, it's no different to America.
That doesn't fix anything.
No.
Right.
That's a bad action. If you're going to stop that bad action, you have to call it for what it is and just deal with it,
Cider Hype says, go to China, get treated poorly. Larry David at MP3.
Yeah. Yep.
Bit Major says, Chinese calling themselves grandpa in a quarrel to insult their opponent is like saying, I'm your daddy, but a bit more extreme.
You think that's what he's... No.
Actually, In context, that makes a lot of sense.
It doesn't, because Grandma Goo came down the hill. So he's floating around there somewhere.
Yeah, but I actually have heard that before.
Yeah, but I don't think
have.
it's this. How's his grandpa gonna?
It's kind of like saying Trini Nai Nai. It's like a swear word. You know what I mean?
Yeah, sure, but no, I don't think so. I think he's talking about an actual grandpa.
Well, I'm gonna think about it.
Okay, you think about it. We're gonna find out who this grandpa is one way or the other.
Yeah, because like
even if I have to watch that whole series, which I don't want to.
This Taiwanese dude put that into context for me, that starts to make a lot more sense.
Sure.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Just some guy in NC says you guys hit a nerve. Lots of trolls today. Oh, hopefully you guys dealt with them properly.
Yeah.
Doc Slothington, I hereby bestow a rare and coveted old Doc seal of approval for the new show segment. And that means it's definitely voted in. We didn't even have to do a poll if old Doc signed up.
Yeah, no, we're great. We're very happy to do it because it's very entertaining to research.
Yes. Just some guy, and there's some saucy clips too. I was kind of surprised. It's weird. Like, it's such a prude society not in real life and in media. But there were some saucy segments, and because it's in the context of Japanese people being bad to the Chinese women, that's allowed to be a little bit saucy.
Yeah, but they have gotten into trouble before.
They have.
There's these little War of the Resistance fantasy nonsense shows. They tend to push it a little bit too far because in normal Chinese media, you're not allowed to have like extreme violence. Or you're not allowed to have nudity.
Yeah.
You're not allowed to have these kind of things. But in these War of the Resistance dramas, they can be incredibly vulgar as long as they're being vulgar towards Japanese, like theoretical Japanese people.
Yeah.
And I remember one of the shows got into a huge amount of trouble because they had some like peasant girl or something stripped down naked and like thanked the communist forces by saluting them naked or something.
It didn't show.
No, it just showed from behind.
Yeah.
But that's a big no-no for Chinese TV, and they actually got into trouble for that.
That's true. That's a good example.
Yep.
Jimmy Lopez says, "Hey guys, I love your show and watch it every week. But when are you guys going to get back to traveling to other countries like Korea, Thailand, or Canada? I just missed the motorcycle videos. Thanks for everything you do."
Yeah, I mean, we're definitely going to get back to it at some point. COVID really put a huge dent in that plan, and our current situation. But we'll get back to it. We're looking forward to it, and we'll let you know. You'll be the first to know.
COVID's not an excuse for that now. It's just we have a lot of other things. Because of COVID, it transformed a lot of the way we do things.
Yes.
So we have a lot of obligations to what we do now, if that makes sense.
Yeah, but we'll get back to it.
We will, eventually. It's not going to be 100% what we do like it used to be, but we'll add it in.
Don't forget the ADVChina channel. We still release at least once a month.
I think people forget about that. Everyone's like, where's ADVChina's gone? Now it's the China show. No, these are different channels.
Yeah, ADVChina is the motorcycle adventures. That's where we show riding around. We still have a lot of unreleased footage.
And we still put out videos once or twice a month, like you said. Yeah. Will Smith slapping Xi Jinping says, "Do you think Putin and Xi will be humiliated at the G20? I want to see those two." I'm not going to read the rest.
Okay.
But yeah, that meeting is disconcerting, to say the least. In Indonesia, it's going down pretty soon, eh? We'll definitely let you guys know.
Yeah, we'll have to see. Jason
Grigorchuk. Regret not buying the Wu Mao shirt from Matt. I just re-released it too, man. Oh, man.
Oh, well.
Sorry. Cesario JPN, thank you very much. Make revolutionary fakes a permanent thing. It's called revolutionary fantasies.
Yeah, same thing, really.
Yeah, of course. I just am trying to solidify the name.
Sure.
A. Watson, hit the like button. The show is worth it. 2 thumbs up. Thank you very much. Yeah, half the viewers only hit the like button. So how about the rest of you guys? What do you think?
I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say it.
What? Smash the like button.
Yeah. See, he said it.
That's like circa 2016.
I told you I'm not going to say it, and I didn't, but you did, though. Just saying.
I was just, whatever. Unknown person, Winston. Nice clean suit, sir. It's better than a dirty suit.
Yeah, thanks. Appreciate it.
It's a filthy suit you have there. The good content. As a Mexican, I hate how Putin and the CCP propaganda is so accepted in LA. Sadly, that's due to U.S. corruption. Current Mexican president is the first leftist president in almost 100 years, and the U.S. is attacking him.
Oh, is it? Joshua
King. The check on China's war machine is that the missiles are empty shells.
Yeah. Some of them.
Kao No says, one Chinese culture that the CCP won't abandon is saving face, a.k.a. stick to the line when everybody knows it. What people think of themselves as their best trait often is their greatest weakness.
Yeah, it's actually true.
It's a huge downfall of CCP is that they've adhered to saving face. That's bad.
I really hate that whole
I hate
culture.
face culture. Sherry Crosby says, "Happy birthday, Winston." Any comments on Roger Waters' interview saying that Taiwan is a part of China?
Yeah, look, I'm severely disappointed. I still do like Pink Floyd a lot.
I was never a fan.
Yeah, I do like it. I always did. But this is just the way things are. The guy is always been a bit of a weirdo when it comes to politics. And you know what?
Yeah, go ahead.
You have to understand that just because people make music doesn't make them a political expert.
That's what I was gonna say. Like, why did he get an interview?
I've got to tell you that musicians are usually completely screwed up people anyway.
Yeah, the artists, right?
Yeah, they're artists, like heavily drug-induced weird binges that they go on, and all the. I'm not saying everyone, but they make poor life choices. Let's put it that way. A lot of musicians and a lot of
rock
artists,
stars.
yeah, they make very poor life choices.
Yeah.
Get married a billion times.
Yeah.
Do all sorts of nasty stuff, and so. It's not the person you should be looking to for political commentary or something like that.
I don't understand why there's political commentary. Like, they allowed to have political opinions. Why is it given like the highest?
Yeah, why is some like
media?
old man who plays a guitar or whatever?
Right.
Why is he suddenly like an expert that the Chinese media is using?
That's
as
like bringing me out as to commentate on boat inspections.
Yeah,
we have this guy. He's a China expert, right?
Yeah.
We're gonna ask him about starboard boats.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know anything about boats, so that's why I
Yeah.
picked it. And then for some reason, people take me seriously.
Yeah,
This boat looks great. Now this is a good boat. See how the hull comes up?
Yeah,
I don't know about boats.
sure. I mean, that's the
I
thing.
ain't no boatman.
Old Roger also has a lot of interest in the Chinese market as well, so it makes sense that he'd say things like that.
Yeah, sure.
Anyway,
Makes sense.
yeah. And thank you for the birthday wish. I appreciate it. 42 now. Yeah.
You're almost 420, really, if you think about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Byron Zululeta says, "Hey guys, I haven't been able to see you live in a while, but I agree with your latest show. I don't think China would win any altercations. After hearing about how half-ass is good enough, planes will fall out of the sky." And Deanne Chapman, at least the founder was honest about it.
Founder of what?
I don't know. I was hoping you would remember that.
Okay.
I was hoping you would remember the context, but sorry.
Oh,
Deanne-
no, he's talking about the AI thing.
Oh, yeah.
True.
Robert Dove and Andy Borham genuinely looks dead inside. There's no soul in there at all. I don't know about that.
Yeah.
We are chaos.
Yeah, he is state media.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
you kind of have to sell your soul.
And when it's relevant, we'll talk about him at some point.
Sure.
Yeah.
Tencent partially owns Discord.
Interesting.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah. This South African company, Naspers, has got a big stake in Tencent. And there's a lot of dodgy things going on in South Africa. I'll tell you what.
Oh, boy.
Uncovered something recently, which I'll probably showcase in the next show, about one of the biggest universities in South Africa.
Oh, yeah.
One of the most prominent universities.
Oh, yeah, you're going to do that, eh?
Yeah, and
They're
they're
done yet?
I think it's still ongoing, but they put out like basically a competition to make a short film to praise the Chinese government.
It's crazy.
It's as if that happened at Harvard or something like that.
Yeah.
It's the same thing, and it's tied to the Confucius Institute. I'm watching you, Confucius Institute. Don't you worry.
You're next.
Yeah, no, definitely. But they've pretty much overtaken academia in South Africa, the Chinese government, and it's worrying, Yeah. Anyway.
Nesadi, some people don't learn from the past and history ends up repeating itself, like war and viruses.
Yes.
Ultra Primarch says, finally, artistic vision over living in the fear.
Oh.
We'll live in the fear.
Tokoloshi98 says, as a progressive, I propose we say that Chinese policies may lead to a major she-cession.
Oh.
Recession is an outdated term, as Trudeau aptly pointed out.
Yes, a she session. Now we could
XI.
change that around, because now what we could do is put subtitles when he says she session and she covery. It could just be XI.
Maybe that's what he
Dude.
meant. Maybe that's what he meant.
Maybe he wasn't talking about women. He was talking about Xi Jinping.
Yeah.
Ah, dude. Someone's got to do that. Somebody's got to
That
put those
makes
subtitles.
a lot of sense
Yeah.
now. I knew he hated Xi Jinping after all.
Yeah.
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 Tyler Bozanovsky. Did you get the cat soundbite back as promised? Why did you have to remind? Now we have to put it in the
Yeah,
next
we do.
show.
Please make a note. There has to be. Sorry.
We tried to forget it on purpose because
Yeah.
so many people hate it so much.
Yeah, it's coming back.
But it's going to be with...
By the way, Tokoloshi 98, that's an interesting name. You know, the Tokoloshi is this mythical creature in
talked
South
about this
Africa.
last time.
Yeah, I'm just saying, it's hilarious.
They look weird and crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Will
Interesting
Smith
stuff.
says, the China show turns me into a telescope.
Wow.
All right, that's interesting.
Okay.
Click all night. Other typos in Xinjiang's Twitter post says America didn't encroach on China at all, just the nation of Taiwan. Also, China will not respond. He really needs a proofreader.
Yes.
Yeah. Simon Campbell, thank you very much. A. Watson, after the 2020 Minneapolis riots, my ESL Chinese curriculum removed Christopher Columbus as a historical character. Early in 2021, CCP removed the Statue of Liberty from all online lessons. No U.S. icons.
Yeah, I suppose they're not allowed to.
Yeah. Ness Audi, did you guys hear the Australia faces being in the line of fire if conflict heats up between China and Taiwan? We did.
Yeah.
Death Flash, I get guns are heavily restricted, but how is it for people in the military? Would admirals and generals be able to get their own guns in their own homes? No. Jason Fruand, hey you. Well, I mean, there's so much corruption, of course they could. What am I talking
Yeah, sure,
about?
but it's not legal.
No. Simon Campbell, how would you reverse translate the name Death Worship? Reverse translate? What do you mean reverse translate?
You mean just translate?
Yeah, like actually translate.
We'll find out. I don't know. What would you do? Like
Death Worship. I'm trying to see if there's actually like a死亡崇拜. 死亡崇拜, that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense to me.
Worship death.
Yeah.
I was just making sure.
Yep. That's more like to worship death, though.
Yeah. 死亡崇拜. That's correct Chinese grammar,
Yeah.
but it sounds,
Why is it coming up with Lincoln Park?
I don't know.
Maybe that. Anyway,
It sounds
we were looking
Sounds
up.
kinda
We were looking up your favorite band the other day, Imagine Dragons, because they're like, what is that in Chinese?
Oh,
And
yeah,
it's
what
like
is it
mystery
again?
band. Remember?
Can you please tell people you're being facetious?
Yeah. No, he doesn't. He doesn't love Imagine Dragons.
you.
You do often sing the song though. Or
No, it's just
it just gets stuck.
it gets stuck.
Yeah.
Imagine Dragons in Chinese made us pee our pants laughing.
Yeah.
I gotta find it again.
Okay. Pretty sure it's mystery band.
I think it's Mystery Band. Let me see. 迷幻, yeah, 迷幻乐团, which means a mystery band.
Mystery band. Yeah.
Tell me, the most generic band of all time, Imagine Dragons, would be called Mystery Band.
I mean, I was thinking it's going to be like Xiang Xiang Longmen.
Longmen, yeah.
Yeah.
Why a men?
Well, like dragons, like Eagle
Yeah.
Long,
Okay.
Liang Long,
I
Longmen
gotcha.
as in
Like
Renmin.
Longmen.
Yeah.
Yes,
I was thinking maybe it's like that, but no.
Xiang Long.
Yeah. Xiang Xiang Longmen.
Yeah, like, I see what you mean.
Yeah.
But could you pick a better, more generic name for a more generic band?
Mystery
than
band.
Mystery Band.
I think it works out. Yeah,
It's the greatest name for Imagine Dragons.
Yeah, it is.
Oh my gosh.
Should be Imagine Grandpa coming at night. And devour you, whatever. You know what I'm saying?
That's, some people have probably imagined that.
Yeah.
Beagle Dad says, great show. Have a great weekend.
Thank you. You too.
Somebody said, great band. Yeah. You do you, bro. You go play disc golf. You put on that Imagine Dragons. You sink that putt.
Don't forget to wear your Minions t-shirt.
If you're not wearing a Minions t-shirt that doesn't say no coffee, me want banana while you play disc golf and listen to Imagine Dragons, then you're doing it wrong.
Yeah.
You don't know how to enjoy life.
we got tropes. We talk about this
Yeah,
nonsense
yeah.
sometimes. Yeah. Anyway.
Sorry. And no offense to anyone that likes all three of those things.
Sure.
Maybe you're a Minion loving good disc golf player and Imagine Dragon listener.
Yeah, it's entirely possible.
Mystery band.
Yeah,
Sorry.
mystery band.
Ultra Primarch. Those Chinese war dramas remind me of Adventures of Kim Jong-un by College Humor. Wouldn't surprise me if Grandpa Xi was a Xi lookalike. Darren D. You should ride the old Pacific Highway 101 on the West Coast. Wow, we'd have to fly back.
We're planning to do it we've got an upcoming idea.
We would if we get the time.
Yeah.
Still haven't gotten tickets or anything.
No.
Ghost Wolf Declassified. I'm not surprised about the Russian Robo toy dog. Russia is a country that has historically made failure a national pastime.
I mean,
You're not wrong from the Soviet perspective.
Yeah, from the Soviet perspective, I'd say, it's a rich history and culture there.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Just like China.
Yeah.
Viol999. What do you think of China taking over the port in Sri Lanka and sending a spy ship to the port? Yeah, we probably should have covered that.
Yeah, that's a
Not
big thing. They're
ideal.
trying to say it's not a spy ship. It's just a normal ship, but it's got huge satellite dish, stuff on it.
You know, it's crazy. It actually has like when you see old robbers with like those like Zorro masks. It
Yeah,
actually
yeah.
has one of those on the front of the ship.
Yeah, we'll
In
definitely
an
bring it
empty
up.
Sack.
Yeah,
with the dollar symbol on it.
And they're like stripy shirt.
Yes, he's got a stripy shirt.
Yeah.
I can't believe it.
Yep.
People don't see it.
Yep.
Imagine grandpa. Sorry.
Yeah.
Ty Slum says, do you think China will sacrifice its economy if it desperately wants Taiwan? What are your thoughts on that 600-year-old statue that came out of the dry Yangtze? Oh, yeah, we saw that. I mean, that's cool. It's good. I'm glad
Yeah.
they find stuff.
No, I like seeing the old stuff that survived Mao's destruction because it just happened to be underwater.
Yes.
And the communists couldn't swim,
Yeah.
because they would have swum down there and broken it if they knew about it.
They would have.
Yeah, but the water kept them at bay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Like, as far as sacrificing economy, I think it's at a point where they won't have an economy to sacrifice, and that'll be a reason for them to attack. I feel
Yes.
like it might actually go that way.
Yes.
We'll see.
Absolutely. So much talk of imagine dragons in here. Imagine hunger war.
Yeah, exactly.
Dion Chapman says they say you need to understand China, but China really needs to understand the world.
You gotta understand China.
That's actually very true.
Yeah.
You can tell by their diplomatic faux pas all the time that China actually doesn't understand the outside world very well.
Right.
It's
Yes.
kind of silly. The fact that they use these ridiculous criminal foreigners and so on to try and push their political agendas,
Yeah.
it just shows a lack of form, really.
Yeah. Nasadi says the 240 millimeter M1 howitzer or Black Dragon was the heaviest piece of field artillery in the U.S. Army deployed in World War II. Taiwan has it pointed at China, and they have the ammo already. Russell Thander says, can we get a meme review sort of thing every week? I mean, meme review could be kind of like revolutionary fantasies.
Yeah, but we do anyway show memes.
Yeah,
and stuff,
I mean,
so-
that's all what's new.
Yeah, it's
there's
kind of
memes
it's
in
in
there.
what's new, so it's kind of there.
Yeah. Deanne Chapman, so I miss just walking down the street with my camera and taking pictures of this and that. That's what I miss about China. That's a
Yeah.
thing too, yeah.
Yeah.
Ty Sloan, thoughts on Biden meeting Xi and G20 in a few months? Do you think the DPRK, that's North Korea, will make a move on South Korea to distract from Taiwan? I do not think that will happen at all. Ty Sloan, China's population is due to decline massively in the future. What will that do to the Chinese government and their economy? Fears arising India. It will have a massive effect on the economy for sure.
Yes.
They're not
Everything's gonna prepared for it.
No, I mean, but it's not gonna be a doomsday collapse tomorrow. Right?
No, that's actually what
Speaking
my
of which.
video tomorrow is going to be all about. It's all these people saying, 25 days until, the economy collapses.
tired of
It's
shit.
like 30 days until the CCPs.
And they're
all
getting
that
millions of views, and I don't mind. I'm happy if they're gonna spread like truth about China and stuff.
Yeah.
But stop with the bullshit.
You know what I mind about that is that they use our footage or they use my footage and then I leave a comment saying, hey, I don't mind if you use my footage, but how about a little shout out in the description, and then they shadow ban me.
Thanks, guys.
It's like, that's not very professional as
There's
far
a
as
camaraderie.
YouTubers are concerned.
No, it's not good.
Little thieves. Anyway.
Walter Deadman, do you think they use ducks instead of eagles because they seem too American?
But then why use that screech?
Yeah, that's not even an eagle though.
Yeah, it's like a red tail, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
That's synonymous with America.
True.
Yeah.
Wing 083, even Tommy Wiseau is a better actor than this guy. Him and Nicolas Cage could save that war drama. Nicolas Cage could be that girl with a gun.
Yeah, you could.
I prefer Grandma.
Okay.
David Lopan says Color Wolf versus Salty Pork Hand. That's right.
Yep.
I think a Salt Pig Hand is more physically aggressive, so he's probably worse than a Silong.
Maybe.
I think Silong is more about fantasizing and peeking, like a peeping Tom.
Yeah, maybe. I mean,
Yeah.
it just means a pervert, so it could be anything. It could be bad.
Very true.
It could be bad stuff, too.
You probably have to weigh the
I think it's like a
actual-
blanket term, like the salt pork hand is a Silong.
He could be a Silong.
He is. He's just an offshoot.
He's like a Silong that happens to be a groper.
Yeah.
Yeah, with his salt pork hands.
Yeah, salt pork hand. That's him.
is getting deep in my mind about what constitutes that. Does he carry salt pork hands around, and
No,
does
it's
it
just
count
that the
as a
shape
crime
of his,
anymore?
It's like a little,
Yeah,
little
for sure. It looks like this.
salt when
Does
he's
he go like
groping.
this?
He like gropes.
Like an Italian.
Yeah, he's Italian groper. Yeah.
An Italian groper. This is getting deep.
Yeah.
What if the West blockaded China's shore? That'd be a war move.
Yeah.
Ness Audi, that is the correct form for the Japanese Imperial Army from 1930 to 1945. Yeah, we know that, but we're talking about the flag.
Yeah.
I believe it was the imperial flag at that time.
Pretty sure.
Pretty sure. Maybe we're wrong.
Yeah, we could be wrong.
Eddie, question here. Why does she come out dressed in different suits like he's an expert? Military event, he dresses up in his suit. Visits scientists, he's in a lab coat. Goes to masses and dresses regularly.
It's just theater, that's why.
Winnie the Pooh dressing up, stay awesome. It's theater.
It's just theater.
He needs to be an expert in every situation for the populace to take him seriously.
Yeah, it's like, oh, he's wearing a lab coat. That means he understands science.
Yeah,
Oh, look, he's wearing a military uniform. Means he understands military.
that's right.
That kind of shit.
Square says, watching while snacking on some lovely Dove soap. Sorry,
Yeah.
couldn't help with a boycott. Just can't resist that clean Dove soap taste. Ouch.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like Clayman's eating a little Dove soap in his day.
Yeah.
And he fell on hard times.
Yeah, he
in
did.
Jail.
Yes. He is a criminal. He was in jail.
Yeah, he was for years, right?
A couple of years, yeah.
Yeah.
I only found that out because when he made attack videos against me, somebody who knew him reached out.
Oh, did they?
Because he's attacked a bunch of people in the past. He's a really weird character. He's got a mental problem.
Oh, okay. So he just likes going after people.
Yeah, and he also...
That's true. And again, that's not a profession with a good future.
No, I don't think so.
Mr. Incognito 007. Why Biden doesn't want to get closer to Latin American countries? The CCP and Russia influence are growing there. What are your views about relationship between U.S. and Latin America? I absolutely think the U.S. should get closer to Latin America and stop kind of put a plug in Chinese influence right now. It's insane. They're filling a lot of gaps that even Latin Americans are not supporting.
Yeah.
But the leadership of these countries are.
Makes sense.
So
Same with Africa.
A lot of stuff to exploit.
Yeah.
Right? Walter Deadman, put on specs and kicks down door. It's grandpa time.
Yeah.
Get ready to devour. Grandpa's hungry.
Let's move on from this, please.
Lucy. Yeah, sorry. Wendy Wolf, love the show. Finally tuning in live for the first time.
Thank you.
Have you watched Legend of Hay? It's an amazing Chinese animated movie from 2019. I have not. I just pulled it up in a tab, Wendy. Thank you for the recommendation. And I am looking for more Chinese language stuff to watch.
Yes.
If it's recent, because I've
We'll give
run
it
out of the older stuff.
We'll give it the test.
Yes.
Because look, earlier when I said all Chinese shows are garbage, I meant it. It's true. Okay. But the thing is, I stopped trying because I watched, the entire time I was in China, I kept trying to find this stuff. But, I got to a point where I was like, it's pointless even trying anymore. So there may be something that's come out recently.
There's going to be stuff
missed.
that falls between the cracks too. Like this, for example, what she just recommended, it's a webtoon developed by a Chinese artist. This is not a massive conglomeration from the CCP here.
Yeah.
We're talking about there's tons of talent in China.
You know what really used to piss me off?
What?
Is, these war fantasy garbage things that you see all the time, right?
Yes.
So every once in a while, they'd make a really nationalist film. Like that Founding of Republic. Remember that? The Founding of the Republic, where it had like that Mao Zedong lookalike and all that crap. And what they do is they'd like organize for that to be shown everywhere for free. Okay? So, for instance, in the little urban village down from where my house was, they'd set up a big projector and everybody would watch this film. People come sit there and watch it, right? Because that's what they do. But you could buy fake DVDs of everything.
Yeah.
Okay? And they'd have all those vendors that used to walk around and like a little bicycle, and on the back it's got a basket, and inside it's just got full of DVDs. And
A bike basket.
Yeah, a bike basket. And in the back, you could like flip through all the DVDs, and it'd be all Hollywood movies and stuff. And you could buy whatever you want for like 5 RMB or 2 RMB or whatever. It was really cheap. And I remember when that Founding of the Republic thing came out. I told the story before, but they were not allowed to sell that. They could sell every Hollywood movie fake, but they were not allowed to sell that. I remember somebody was selling it and they got arrested.
Of Crazy, right? They
Isn't
can
it?
crack down on piracy when they want.
Yeah, so they only crack down on piracy if you're pirating like an Aiguo, a nationalist film, a Chinese film. Pirate anything that's Western, they don't give a shit. They actually encourage it.
That's true.
Yeah.
Dave T, thank you very much. Ambiguous Asian. I recently got into Taiwan, Hong Kong music and rap. I recently got into MC Hot Dog, who has the Chabudo Xianshang song.
Yeah, Chabdo Xianzhen.
That's a good song. I like MC Hot Dog as well. From Taiwan and Hong Kong rappers, LMF.
Yeah.
Rappers recommend these artists. Yes, a great music scene in Hong Kong and Taiwan.
Absolutely. And the thing is, if you go to China expecting to find a music scene, the music scene you will find in China is the Taiwanese and Hong Kong music scene, mostly.
Yeah. There's a lot more mainland stuff coming up, but it's not so good.
Yeah, you still find like mainstream, what people listen to is going to be from Hong Kong or Taiwan. Like if people want to listen to pop music.
11 says, I really want to watch Xiao Banho, but it's a tenth of the minimum wage in Brazil. Can you localize the prices on Patreon? I wish you could localize prices on Patreon.
If we could, we
unfortunately.
absolutely would.
I'm
Because
sorry about that.
Yeah, we don't expect that.
No, and
somebody
it's just,
yeah.
we have to make it, worth our while as well. And it's not that we're greedy or anything. It's that it takes a lot of time to put together. And it's another way that we can actually combat some demonetization that we have to go through.
Yeah.
So we appreciate it. We're sorry if it's not accessible.
And we really did want to have a kind of a private VIP thing, which we
Yeah.
can hang out with people.
course.
And hate putting anything behind a paywall.
yeah.
That's not the goal here. And so we tend to save the important stuff for this show. And what we talk about in Xiaobanho is like we'll show photos and things
more
that we've
fun,
never
like
shown
we're having
before.
a snack taste test.
Yeah, yeah,
it's that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and if there's anything that's really important that we need to share with anyone, it comes here.
Yeah, for sure. If it's anything that you guys need to know, it's going on this show.
Yeah, yeah.
If it's fun stuff, it's going on Xiaoban.
Yeah, if it's just like behind the scenes kind of crap, it's
Yeah.
good fun though. Please
fun.
join us if you have the
you can,
means.
yeah.
Yeah.
Ghost Wolf Declassified. I saw a Chinese war movie about the PLA who fought against a giant robot piloted by the Emperor. The PLA defeated the robot with the help of a Japanese princess who switched sides.
Oh,
She summoned an ancient dragon which defeats the robot and helps win the war. That sounds amazing.
yeah.
I'd love to watch that.
Yeah, we need to find it.
Please send us that.
That sounds amazing.
Robert Krupika, thank you very much. Ross Wolf, love the new segment. It's almost as good as the South African commercials.
Cool.
Have you ever seen Thunderbolt Fantasy? It's a Japanese show made in Taiwan. I've not. That sounds cool, though. Thunderbolt Fantasy. I just put it in a new tab, so then I can check it out.
Cool.
Oh. Oh, yeah.
Is it that puppet
What
thing?
are we talking about? Of course we've seen
Yes,
Thunderbolt Fantasy
yeah,
many times.
We filmed that on TV.
It's
and
actually pretty awesome looking. No, it looks cool.
it's pikey as all hell.
It's a lot of good attention to
Yeah,
detail.
okay. I suppose so. But I don't know, man.
It's interesting. Come on.
Kind of like reminds me of Leva Hexy or something.
Come
but
on,
like
it's a lot better
It's
than
much
that.
better. It's much better. But I have like just bad vibes from
I
puppet
see.
shows. I don't like puppets.
Neither do I, but I think it looks pretty cool.
Yeah, I suppose. You know, like if you see a kung fu thing with people flying through the air and all that, they've kind of made that, but with puppets.
Yeah.
It's like ancient Chinese style stuff, but it's puppets. Dude, it's
I know.
pretty
I get it.
bad.
I get it.
It's pretty fun. Like it's like you say, it's interesting.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
A lot of people have been giving you a lot of hate for how big your chair is. I
Yeah,
think,
man.
No, that'll be rectified.
It's a lazy boy,
It is. It'll be
genuine
rectified.
lazy boy. Yeah,
We don't want to have him to have a chair where it shows up in the shot. It's not supposed to be like that.
yeah. We're gonna get new chairs.
Yes. Doc Slothington. If you two find yourself facing beep, you mean shit ghosts.
Okay.
In Japanese, little Japanese
Yeah.
dog shit ghosts. No need to call your grandpa, just call the old doc. No devouring, no. I don't get down like that.
Sure.
Old doc
Yeah.
is, after all, it's from the 1700s.
Yeah. Exactly.
He doesn't really dabble in any grandpa activity.
I got to tell you, I have a lot of Japanese friends, and in China specifically, one of my best Japanese friends is kind of like my Japanese brother who I met there. We used to hang out, and it's incredibly hurtful and horrible to have this kind of attitude towards yourself just because you come from a certain place. And there'd be some situations where things would get hairy, and we'd have to make excuses and say that he was, you know, like Korean or Filipino or whatever. Just choose any other random Asian, because if people thought he was Japanese, they get rowdy and things might kick off, you know?
Yeah.
It's absolutely disgusting that you have to deal with that, especially since he has a Chinese wife and, you know, he learned Chinese, fluent in Chinese. He studied, he actually got his degree in China and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
So it's just really awful to see this disgusting blanket hatred for people just because of where they come from.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, and it really affected
right.
No, it's not right. It affected the lives of a lot of my Japanese friends who lived in China, you know, and they were there for good reasons. They were there because they were interested in the culture, or one of them was there because he was interested in the martial arts and wanted to study Chinese Kung Fu, you know, and that kind of thing. And it just sucks, is what I'm saying. Any kind of hatred because of where a person comes from sucks.
Yeah.
You know?
Acronis says, I'm late catching the show. Any truth to all those headlines about China's economy collapsing? Also, a few beaver bucks for the show. Stay awesome. We hope you guys watch us because we don't sensationalize anything.
Tomorrow, my video talks just about that. I'm sick and tired of it.
Just stop with the collapse shit.
It's not going to collapse.
I did a video a few weeks ago called "Is China's collapsing? Is it true?" And I addressed that as well.
Yeah.
I'm tired of it. It's almost like the videos came out after I put out that video. Obviously not in response, but it's like, holy shit, guys, stop.
Yes, the Chinese economy is in trouble. Yes, there's a lot of downturn. Yes, there's a lot of terrible things happening, but it's not going to collapse. And neither is the CCP, which you'll find out, and I'll tell you all about it tomorrow in my video.
Bad things are happening.
Yeah.
The Chinese government's a massive threat.
Yeah.
But it's not... It doesn't have the capability to overthrow the U.S. right now, and it's not collapsing right now. It is in bad shape. Yeah. There's a lot of turmoil. Bad things are happening. And those are the things you address, but you don't have to say it's a massive collapse.
Yeah, it's not going to collapse, and there's not like, in 20 days or whatever.
No, there's no timeline.
Yeah.
Great channel. Keep up the great work. Talking about real China. I lived and worked in Thailand for 12 years and experienced much the same thing, living in a Chinese colony. I wouldn't quite call it a Chinese colony, my friend. But I get what you mean. Jack Frost is living in the fear. Guy from Ricky. Oh, the story of Ricky.
This guy? I don't think so.
We'll live in the fear.
What is Ricky? Oh, the story of Ricky.
It's like this interesting Japanese thing. Oh no, it's not Japanese. It's Chinese Kung Fu type thing. Yeah, I've actually seen it.
I don't think it's okay.
Yeah, I actually saw that like way back. You know, because I used to seek out these kind of ridiculous movies.
Oh, I think it is him.
Think it's him?
It is him. It's him.
Oh,
you're right. No, it is him. You're right.
That's interesting.
Oh, that's funny.
That's
funny
cool.
Yeah, that's him.
It's him. Wow, good call.
Good call, Jack Frost. Ultra Primarch says, Sea Milk hears Imagine Dragons immediately thinks, oh, the misery. Everybody wants to be my enemy. And then I have a bumper sticker that says, don't talk to me before I get my coffee.
Yeah, and it's got a minions.
It's got a minion.
Yeah, like a minion character, yeah.
You guys found the normie inside of me.
Yeah.
God, I hate Imagine Dragons. I know it's a trope to hate Imagine Dragons, but that is... If there's a band that exemplified how boring life can be, it's that.
Okay, yeah, Imagine Dragons.
Yeah.
It's kind of a cool name.
Yeah, for sure. I prefer Mystery Band.
Yeah.
And I would never judge anyone for liking it. It's
obviously
one of the most popular bands in the world. So clearly I'm the wrong one.
Sure.
But I'm going to stick in being wrong.
Sure.
Ultra Primarch says, by the logic of costumes equating to qualification, Johnny Sins is more qualified than she.
Okay.
Brigid Farina says, the only... I know who you are. I won't say your real name, though. The only Chinese show I've been able to sit through is 10 Miles of Peach Blossoms. It's a xianxia, but I thought it was well done. No fantasy shows are always too political. Yeah, that's my problem, too, is I always slide in CCP crap and stuff, and that's the issue.
There have been a couple of good... I can't remember the name now. I used to write for a magazine, which I started, a Japanese pop culture magazine. There were quite a few kind of crossover movies which involved Chinese people, but they were like produced in Japan or produced by Japanese. And you know, because there's still a lot of love for Chinese culture in Japan, you know, because it's kind of seen as the old country in a way, you know, ancient China.
Well, it
ancient
is.
China, yeah.
It is.
So... There's some pretty good shows that involve China and Chinese-speaking parts to it and stuff, which were made in Japan, which are actually very good. So there's one in particular I'm thinking of, and I'm going to try and find it for next show. I'll give it as a recommendation.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wings083 says, as far as Chinese war movies that are not complete garbage, go to 1942 with Adrian Brody and Flowers of War with Christian Bale. Is pretty good. Oh, by the way, there's a lot of good Chinese movies I love, especially from the 90s. There was less censorship in some of that stuff.
Right.
I've seen a lot of great movies back then. JB, Sword and Pen, thank you very much. We got to rip through this. We're way over time.
Okay.
Philip B, how long until you guys turn into Hulks? The indirect lighting from the green screen is strong in this room. Is it? I don't see any green.
Yeah, it's not too
you got
bad.
a little green.
You got a little bit of green. Yeah, look, lighting is something I promised that I'd take care of, but it's one of those things, you know. Bless you. 差不多也行, you know what I mean, as far as the lighting's concerned.
Sure.
We'll fix it.
David Lopan, your next adventure should be Meow Wolf. Trust me. David,
What is that?
you've yet to say one thing I already know.
Yeah.
You make me open Google every time.
Mm-hmm.
It's an American arts and entertainment company that creates large-scale interactive art installations in New Mexico.
Doesn't sound like my cup of tea.
What if it's really cool, though? Let's see. Whoa, that does look pretty cool.
Okay.
That looks crazy.
Yeah, looks interesting.
I mean, you'd probably have to be on drugs.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
looks wild.
You know, one of my best friends growing up, his older brother's kind of like an older brother to me. He's like a real artist, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He bought his own studio, and it's kind of like
Wipe shit on his face type of thing.
no, not that. He's
told me
so
about
it's-
someone that did that. So.
Yeah, no, that's someone else. But like he'll have the whole galleries just white, and then there'll be like in one corner there'll be a little square of color or something, and then people will come there and admire it. You know, that kind of shit.
I could do that.
Yeah, but but because he's like really arty
Sure.
and stuff, that people respect that. And
abstract.
you know, it's that kind of nonsense. So he posted something the other day
Abstract
about
artist.
talking about art.
Yeah.
And he makes this whole big thing about it. And he goes out into the wilderness where he's left some artwork underneath some corrugated iron. And
Right.
he lifts it up, and it's just fucked. It's like, it's like remnants of bits of paper because he left some shit under this, and it just got destroyed by the elements. And it's like, oh wow, it's like it's art or whatever. And I'm like, stop, please. I hate this so much.
Jeez. You know, I could go out in my yard.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But they make a big thing, and he made a video about it with like classical music playing and everything. And I'm looking at this, and I'm like,
Gosh.
what is going on? And it's like uncovering this thing. It's literally like if you and I took a piece of A4 paper now and we just scribbled some shit on it, we left it out in the garden in the rain and the sun for like 3 months.
Yeah.
And then we lifted it up, and there was like half the paper was left, and it was all faded and it had nothing on it. Sometimes art pisses me off.
Yeah.
And like that really does.
That's
Anyway,
my like.
I'll show you
interests.
sometime.
Please, I'd love to see that.
Yeah.
Serum King, love you guys. Is China, by the way, also messing around with India on the border?
Yeah,
Or
always.
is that completely over? No, they're still going at it.
Yeah.
What would you think India would do if China goes to war with Taiwan?
Probably nothing.
Probably stay out of it.
Yeah.
Doc Slothington, see a Monday play is. Oh yes, Doc. We'll see you on Xiaoban Ho.
Yeah, we'll be testing those weird
snacks.
snacks. Yeah, some good, some bad, something
Some
in
good,
between.
some bad. It's not all bad. Don't
No,
worry.
of course.
But there's enough bad to be funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. David Lopan says Akira the Don is about to go live.
What's that?
I'm gonna get him to shout out the China show.
Oh, okay.
I don't
cool.
know, but that sounds fantastic. If you get people to, it's a British musician.
Cool. That'd be nice.
Lo-fi EDM, hip hop, trap. He looks kind of like that dude that did that. Like, remember all those animals getting smashed with car doors and stuff? That was pretty funny. That music video. They're like smashing the panda's head on the tree and like.
I don't remember that. No.
Okay, he drives a shoe around.
No,
Okay,
not ringing a bell.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Ghostfish Taiwan from Taiwan. Would it be possible for one of you guys to look into Shane, how terrible they are as a company? I have been working on a script for an episode about that for so long, and it's just so big that it's, you know, when you're intimidated by a topic because you want to be able to cover it in its
Yes.
entirety, and you
You
sit
just
on
keep
it
putting
too
it
long.
off, yeah. And
That's
then
what
it just
I've been
gets
doing.
to a point where you just crap out the video anyway.
Yeah, I'm at that point where I haven't done that yet.
Okay. All right.
But I absolutely should do it because
Yeah.
it's such a shit company and it's destroying the world.
Do
It's
it.
so bad.
Do it.
It just takes so much time.
Yeah.
We're spread so thin.
Just do it.
Yeah, we have a lot of projects, so you know that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sword in the Pen. Oh, sorry. Seen every video, all channels since 2019.
Wow.
please cover the CCP in Eritrea. Eritrea is another North Korea-esque country in Africa. It's very closed off. Also on Nintendo Switch, Just Dance. We have that game.
Yeah.
We both played that for a little while. The guy on the left in What Is Love car version looks like Sea Milk. We can't get over it. I'll have to pull that up after the show when I get home. Cairo, great show today. And on Monday, glad to be a Shaban Ho.
Excellent. Can't wait to see you there.
That's it.
Wow. Well, we did go a little long today, guys. Thank you for joining us. Again, being a part of this very important conversation. It means a lot to us that we can get our message out there and hopefully help you understand what's going on in China a little more clearly. Can't wait to see you guys on Monday who are going to be there for Xiaoban Ho. Can't wait to see you guys in my video tomorrow, which I really hope you all watch. And of course, check out Sea Milk's video from this week.
Don't forget to support our sponsor, Athletic Greens, with the link in the description.
Yeah. Can't wait to see you. So until then, you know the drill. As always, stay awesome. And I'm going to count down from 5, 4, 3, 2.